you're scared. And you should be.
This is not your company anymore.
Leave the cheek of CM Punk.
Out, combo move. This is what they've been doing. Hey, McAfee.
Everyone shut the up and sit down!
We got a mom in the front row who taught her daughter how to suck dick.
I'm Mina Shirakawa. I used to be a model. I want to put on a big show.
And that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome once again to the Saturday Shenanigans, hosted by yours truly, the Renegade JJ Williams. Hi guys. Hi guys. CM Punk drama bullshit to the side. I still consider Hangman the worst AEW champion they've had. First of all, we're going to bring in Walter Cruz.
I said that as a joke when what's his name did his promo Monday. He said, "I'm from a prestige university." I said he majored in Steiner, man.
We've got the Heb man, James Hebert, in the house.
I do really cool and dumb things for the interns.
Right. A lot of shit going on here. A lot of fucking crazy ass shit.
Where is Noah JD? Well, say his name and he appears, because we believe in Noah Foster.
Fuck is this intro? It is one of those things where as fans we do have these desires for what we want to see, but sometimes you can't always get what you want, and there are reasons you truly don't get what you want. I wouldn't even listen to this in Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. What the fuck is this shit? God, rapid whack. Like I said, never been a greater time to be a wrestling fan than with more companies in a more lucrative spot, in a more comfortable business spot, in a sense of mind, it seems, than ever. Again, WWE is not the only one. It is not the end-all, be-all. So let's go back to the Backyard Wrestling JJ Williams to get the official word. JJ, speak!
Make sure you tune in every week, because you never know who's going to drop in to join the shenanigans. Catboy is in the house.
Hello, my internet family. I say if you want to make them as evil as possible, make them really mad.
We have Mansfield joining the party now. What is going on, Josh?
Like I told no one when we were in Cleveland, him joining JCU was just an unfortunate side effect of my shenanigans towards you, JJ. I know how it can get better, Noah. The panel chooses you.
Shut the fuck up, Josh.
He said that so like.
They got the intro back.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Just think how you and I had lunch together the other week.
That was different.
Ladies and gentlemen, the King is here. Say his name and he appears. We believe in King A-Train. There are so many believers in Joe Hendry. The only person on this panel that doesn't believe in Joe Hendry is King A-Train. Tell the world why you do not believe in Joe Hendry.
The reason I do not believe Joe Hendry is he is Fandango 2.0 in a entrance merchant. I rest my case, Your Honor.
Hey! There's nothing wrong with being an entrance merchant. He has some of the best entrances of all time.
Teleporting into the command center, all the way from Angel Grove High, Datilla.
Oh, yeah. I went to the command center on Thursday. I went to Vasquez Rocks, which is where they filmed a lot of episodes. Somebody actually climbed to the very top of those rocks. I made it halfway. I was like, I'm not going up there. Definitely Toni Storm versus Mariah May. That's the one match I probably am looking forward to the most. I really like the story. I'm familiar with all about Eve, so if it plays out that way, I kind of know how this is gonna go.
Say goodnight, Datilla.
Good night.
James, you did say his name, so he shall appear, ladies and gentlemen. first time on the Shenanigans. Jeff Meacham is in the motherfucking house.
Ah! All right, we're coming in hard with the botch. All right, fucking hell. It's good to be back. It's good to have an opportunity to talk to the crowd on a Saturday. If you want to have yourself stomach through it, you can go back and watch when the Main Event Mafia took over Impact. That's what James is talking about. So if everybody just joined us, we're talking about people sedating people, attempted murder, boys, and tips. Welcome to Saturday Shenanigans, everybody. Aren't you glad I'm back?
Welcome back, Jeff.
Cool.
What is going on, everybody, and welcome to another installment of the Saturday Shenanigans here across the Simply Reliable Studios brands of channels. I, of course, am your host and moderator, the Renegade of Wrestling, JJ Williams. Hope everybody's having a good evening tonight. Let's waste no more time. Let's begin to bring in the panel, and it's a small panel to start things off. We're still waiting on some of the regulars to get here. But first person we'll bring in is a man who I know his time is limited before he clocks into the happiest workplace on earth. Avatar Man is here. Have no fear.
Yes,
what is up, Avatar Man?
Avatar Man up into his house, or I guess his old house, because he don't live here full time no more. But it's going good. You know what? I'm lying to my teeth. It's been actually a pretty bad, horrible couple days. But I am here, as you said, at the happiest workplace on earth, and as my headline says, on the road to rebellion. I am so tomorrow I cannot get here soon enough. Oh my god, I am so happy I'm going to the show tomorrow. Jesus Christ.
Cool deal. Cool deal. I see Walter's son is in the chat room saying that Dad is coming now. Hopefully that just means he'll be on the show sooner rather than later, you know.
I know.
But it's good to have you here. I know you're looking forward to Rebellion. I did have one of those images that you just sent to that other chat. The other one I did not, so I have added that to the rotation, if you will.
Okay, yeah, well, I just forgot to get my plug since I got out of here. 20 minutes, so I figured, just go ahead and once everybody's here, hell, if nobody else is here but me for that 20 minutes, then screw it, I'll do it at the end. I don't care. Whatever.
Well, no. I do have a couple people here. The first person to pop into the stream to be ready, Big Baller G is here as well.
Ooh,
as always, he is happy to be here. What is up, Big G?
Yeah. Well, it's been a rough week, but I am happy to be here talking to the fellas about some wrestling.
Yes. It's been a rough week for all of us, I think.
Yeah, it feels like April showers and hopefully bloom May flowers, because this has been a shit show of a week. But G got to see the anniversary of Into the Sit today. I'm jelly belly. I'm not gonna lie.
Nice.
20th anniversary yesterday.
It's awesome.
Feel old yet,
crazy.
guys?
Dude,
I feel old, dude. Like,
you want to talk about feeling old, okay? Because Jeff was born in '83.
Yeah.
I was alive when A New Hope, Empire, and Jedi hit the theaters originally.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
So you want to talk about 20 years for Revenge of the Sith? I was old. I was not even a year yet when A New Hope was in theaters.
Oh shit.
So yeah, I feel old, G.
Yeah. The fact that this show tomorrow has people I've known, every match but one has somebody I've known for at least 10, 15 years. Somebody that I haven't seen in fucking 10 to 15 years. It's like, oh my god. Dude, I'm having so much fun tomorrow. Oh my god, I can't even. Anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, you said you were looking forward to talking wrestling with the boys, but it's not just the boys here, as we do have our Canadian female friend, Ash, in the house. What is up, Ash? How are we doing today?
I am doing quite well.
Well, you suck. You're the only one doing good, apparently.
I'm sorry. I'm recovering from quite a bit.
It's all good. We were trying to get over the pity party, so it's nice to have somebody that's actually having a good day. So
Here you go, Jay. I'll take her down. What the hell with the Jets in the first round so far, man? The Jets are killing me. Oh, they're just not having a good series already.
Peak and Valley. That's our thing apparently. Be peak and valley. Like down, up, down. It's just all over the place.
Yeah, well, the Kings contributed to my day yesterday, dude. Like the Kings losing that game after the shit show of a challenge. Like I said, it's just been a bad couple of days. I am happy. I'm as happy as Big G usually is to be here, just for the 20 minutes I am going to be here. Because damn it, I need to get out my wrestling talk briefly, and then I get to go hop out and deal with the House of Mouse, and it's always fun to get the House of Mouse. Or what was the big song? Come on in. Oh, yeah, yes. I'm it's good stuff.
Well, I may be chilling outside of Arkham Asylum, but we've also got waiting to come in the Dark Knight who sends people there. Walter is in the house, admiring the signal there, waiting for duty to call.
Right.
What is up, Walter? How we doing tonight? You're muted, bro. We can't hear you. Still can't hear you.
She's in no work, says I.
Do 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 do.
Sprinkle the pixie dust because I can't show where I am, but you all know where I am.
Yes, we know.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Walter, we got nothing, dude. You might want to hit that rebooty. I mean rebooties for later during the plugs. Everybody's got a freaking booty in their plug except me. Jesus Christ.
And Ash.
That's fair. Ash got the bat logo, so she's killing it softly with the bat. Y'all just killing it.
She's on my shelf. I got 2 Batman and a Joker.
Well, there you go.
There you go. And a freaking guy with a robe for a boss. So, you know, there's that.
All right, now?
Yes, now we can hear you. Woo-hoo!
Huzzah.
The setting was on the capture card from the Switch when I did that stream earlier.
Yeah.
But I'm having a shitty day and I'm ready to talk wrestling. So
God damn, dude.
All right, so all the men on the panel are having shitty days, and Ash is the only one who's basking in joy and happiness. Damn Canadians.
Well, Canadians are always happy.
My mom and I won both games.
You know why she's so joyous, Jeff? Because the Oilers beat the Kings. That's why.
Hey, fuck off.
And we're over here struggling because we're like, God damn it, we need the Oilers to go down in a blaze of glory.
Big ups to David.
It's like
jokes.
Now you're gonna incite the grizzly bear because he already has to hear it from his son.
Fucking ginger snap's about to go off, dude. No, it's just the Kings had no business losing that game yesterday. They were up in the game. They're up in the series, and that stupid challenge on that no interference on the goaltender whatsoever. I swear I wanted to shit pillar my glasses going, Coach. The fuck? Like, we needed to leave those bastards up there. We needed to come back with 4 and out. And now, I mean, I get to go to a game, which is nice. I get to go to a game on Tuesday, but it's like I didn't want to go to a game this round. I didn't want to deal with these assholes anymore. I'm like,
Celtics had no business losing yesterday either.
And fucking Vegas won today too. So it's just like I just want to crawl in a hole and die until it's time to go to Rebellion. Like, Jesus Christ.
Celtics lost 2, which means Cleveland's probably going to sweep Orlando of rest, and Boston's got to go through series that are going to be grueling, which means it's going to be easier for Cleveland. God damn it.
And Cleveland has no business winning anything ever because fuck Cleveland. The whole city. I said it and I mean it.
Well, I know Josh is proud because that one dude that everyone's been waiting to get drafted.
Oh my God!
Right? Going like the first round, fucking went to the Browns today.
The 5th round, Greg and Maddie were talking about that in the chat. It's like, man, how bad was that kid feel? Not only he's drafted so low, and he still ends up in Cleveland. Like, that kid's got to be wanting to go. Can I try again? Please, like, I don't want to.
Can I remove myself and try next year?
That's right. Can I have Paul Heyman remove me from the draft and go, nope, I don't want you? I'm just kidding.
The one time having a famous last name doesn't help you.
Right? Damn. It's like I said, it has been, and it's sort of like I'm talking with my folks and everybody on the way here today. It's just like, man, it's April showers. I'm hoping to bloom my flowers next week because, man, this has been a shit show since Mania. Just a shit show.
Except for in the world of wrestling.
No, that's fair. Wrestling was good this week.
The world of wrestling has been pretty good. Pretty good.
Pretty.
This is what I was trying to catch up on the stuff that I missed out this week because this is what happens when you work in the evening.
Yeah, right.
Well, and also trying to catch up
wrestling
because
has been good this week if you were in the spaces on Thursday, but
shit, right?
Even Ash is like, no, we don't want to live that out.
I was there listening, and oh my god, shit got messy. Like,
I know you were your eardrums.
It is so crazy to think that the next, we still haven't had a day where there wasn't a live something. Granted, you guys didn't cover. I don't think. Did you guys cover Dynamite this week?
No.
Okay, so yeah, Wednesday was the first day there wasn't a live changes in here. Something since fucking Windy City Riot. That's wild. That's absolutely wild. That was the 11th. It's 14 days of just nonstop.
Wrestling's been so good that I'm stressed trying to think of a top 20 next coming up.
Yes, right. God, so much good matches.
You've been watching everything.
And hey, I'm not one to usually praise the NorCal Nitwit, but give it up for Meltzer for giving the women's triple threat at Mania 5 stars, dude. Those girls earned that shit. And good on Big Dave for finally having his head enough out of his ass to recognize it.
Yeah, but the men's from night one only got 4 3/4, which I think was a crock.
Yeah.
All I
I
gotta
think
say
they both should have been 5.
I was about to say,
I
if,
know.
if both matches are 5 stars to you, then it's 5 stars. Who cares what some person thinks?
No, I know.
No, I agree with that too. But
We don't hold Meltzer's ratings to any kind of seriousness, but
no, I was just surprised. That's all.
Yeah,
That's fair. That's fair. That's a fair
Yeah.
sum.
considering the fact that he usually rates the WWE ones down and gives the AEW ones an extra star.
Yeah.
Like that Tiffany Charlotte match that he gave 1 3/4 stars to, if that had been Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa, it would have at least easily been a 3-star match.
If Mariah and Tony's match had gone the way Tiffany's and Charlotte's went, they still would have got 6 stars.
You know what I think of Meltzer's ratings? His stars are as much. I had this thought in my head. His star ratings are as oh my god, I can't even think what I was gonna say now.
Take your time. Take your time.
I ruined the joke. God damn it.
No, it's okay.
So
Welcome to
Meltzer's rating stars are as worth as many points in Whose Line Is It Anyways? There you go.
Damn, there you go. Oh wait, Drew Carey or Modern Era? Drew Carey or Modern Era hosted by who's it? Aisha Tyler host that show now?
Oh, Drew Carey.
Okay, yeah, that's rough.
We literally just said that, Safet. Please pay attention. Thank you. Literally just said that, bro.
That's how the conversation. That's how that
that's
NorCal Nitwit got brought up.
Conversation started.
Yeah. We're glad Safet's alarm went off to start the show today. Thank you. God damn, dude. You know what? For real, I'm sorry. Where's my punk video? I'm sorry if I'm a little snippy. I'm old. I'm tired. I'm fucking hurt, and I work with fucking children. I'm sorry. I'm tired.
Right.
Man, when CM Punk said that, I felt that. I'm like, I feel you, Phil. I feel you.
I have that.
I've always done since I was 15 in 2008. Not to make you guys sound.
Mine's is a little different. I'm tired. I'm old, and I have fucking children.
Valid.
Big D was asking us if we felt old at the start of this because of Revenge of the Sith turning 20, and she just said she was 15 in 2008.
She's only 15 years older than my son. God, okay. So Jay, here's what we're gonna do.
Born in 92.
Oh, okay. All right, Jay. Here's what we gotta do. I gotta get my plugs. Then I gotta have time to go get my Ovaltine and my cookie before I clock in. Oh my God.
Did you say you were born in 92?
Yeah.
Yes, you sure did.
You were born the same year Bret Hart and Mr. Perfect fought SummerSlam?
Yeah.
No, not that was 91. No. Yeah, Bulldog. Yeah. Bulldog.
I wasn't even born yet. I was still, waiting to come out.
It doesn't make it any better than it wasn't perfect.
All right.
Oh my God.
God damn. I think I just felt my back start spasming.
I'll be back. I gotta go work on my living will.
All right,
what's
Jeff,
that white light in front of me? Yeah, no. Okay. Oh no. That's wrong. That's why I sent you the new one because the date's wrong. I realized I messed that up. Yeah, the freaking date's been wrong all week. That's why when I uploaded it, I went ruh-roh, Reggie. Anyway,
I didn't even notice that there was a date change on it.
I didn't either until I looked. I had the day right, but not the date right because my brain. Again, I'm old. I'm tired. I hurt. And I work with children. There we go. Okay, so prior to Rebellion, which you guys are covering across the Central Iowa Studios tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 Pacific, at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 2:30 Pacific, my interview that I conducted with the next TNA World Champion, Frankie Kazarian, the king of TNA, will be going live at 6:30. We're talking about his career. JJ, you will probably appreciate this more than anybody else in our circle because I put up a lot of screenshots and pictures from not only Frankie's career, but my interactions with Frankie through the years. And we realized that a lot of parallels. One of the pictures is the two of us talking outside of Frankenstein's in 2000. Oh, before the dark times, before the children. And then the other graphic I sent you is current. Again, Datilla and I will be at Rebellion tomorrow night. As far as I've been made aware, we are sitting in section 110. I've heard we may have an upgrade, but I don't know. And if I do know, I'm not allowed to say anyhow. So there you go. But be looking for us. We're very likely going to be on the television tomorrow, quite a bit. And as I found out during predictions with you and Noah the other day, every match but one's got a Jeff Meacham somebody. So Sunday night at USC is Jeff Meacham Appreciation Friends Night is what it is.
That's right.
Get to see Sean Waltman, who I have not seen since he got fully clean, except I think once. And it was like a fleeting hello at a Mick Foley one-man show. So I am so stoked to see everybody I'm gonna get to see tomorrow. And I can't thank everybody in here enough again for last week in WrestleMania and getting to call John's win. And like I said in the predictions, I had an epiphany. Ash, you weren't there, and Walter and G weren't there in the room with us. If what I think happens tomorrow is going to happen, Frankie Kazarian, John Cena, and Bryan Danielson, three of my longest time friends in wrestling, will have been world champion last year.
Damn.
And I just think that's fucking cool as hell. And I will part with that. I got a train literally honking behind me, even though they can't see me because I'm behind a partition. But I'm like the John Cena of the trans crew. They can't see me. So I'm going to bid you guys, you kindly, I'm going to go, and I will see you guys tomorrow at some point during the course of Rebellion, whether it's on screen on TNA Plus or if I happen to be able to pop in. Love you all. Much appreciation. And G, and all of you, may the force be with you. Lord knows I'm going to need the force when I go on the damn train. Good evening. Bye, guys.
Later, Jeff.
And there were four.
And I tried calling Noah while he was shilling there because Noah was supposed to be here tonight, but he is not here as of yet.
Is he in Napland?
Probably. Knowing him. Napland and didn't wake up. Watched Collision and went to bed.
I still have to do that. I have yet to watch a bunch of Collision episodes.
Mr. Sandman got
and you were supposed to be watching every week once Adam Cole became champion.
Yeah, I got a lot of catching up to do.
Mr. Sandman. Actually, now that I say Mr. Sandman, that's my favorite episode of the original Ghostbusters cartoon. The one where Sandman was the ghost. And he was putting everybody to sleep.
Which show are you talking about again?
The Ghostbusters cartoon.
Oh, okay. I know of it, but I don't think I've watched it. So
We've established how old you are. Don't make me feel.
It's fair because even I, who grew up in that era, barely watched it because it was corny as hell.
I grew up in the 90s in Canada. We only had like a select amount of shows that were given to us.
Plus, I mean, when I started to get to that age where I realized that certain voices were the same people, it kind of fucked with me that I think it was Venkman is the same dude that was the voice of Garfield.
Mm-hmm.
That was kind of fucking with me. So it was like, no, why do you sound like Garfield? So that I couldn't do it after I kind of realized that.
Right? Just like how the confusion of the kids nowadays, like, why does Mario and Garfield both sound like Chris Pratt?
Exactly. Exactly. And I mean, there's some voice actors who never changed their voice. You know, they just use the same voice for every character. You know, Baloo, Thomas O'Malley, Little John, same dude, same voice.
Yeah.
That's why my daughter's mom, when she was little, used to say, "Kitty ate Baloo," because Thomas O'Malley and Baloo were the same voice. And then what I've always thought was kind of ironic about that joke is that if you flash forward, the Jungle Book 2 straight to DVD was John Goodman, and Sully in Monsters Inc. was John Goodman. And what does Boo call Sully? Kitty. Kitty ate Baloo again. You know,
crazy.
I'm blanking on his name right now, and Jeff would kill me if he was still here. I should know this. It should pop right up. But Sterling Holloway, the dude that did the voice of Cheshire Cat, Winnie the Pooh, Kaa the Snake.
Yeah.
Same voice again. Like he never changed it. It's like, why does Winnie the Pooh sound like he wants to eat me? Why does Winnie the Pooh sound like he's about to tell me that we're all mad around here? Why is Winnie the Pooh looking for Dumbo? Because he was Mr. Stork also in Dumbo.
Yeah.
It was like, it's all the same voice and not a different fluctuation, cadence, nothing. It just sounds identical.
They can't all be Mark
You didn't
Hamill.
have to do it. Back then, well, Mark Hamill's much later, but back then, not everybody was a Mel Blanc.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, most people just use their normal voices. So,
Can
But
you imagine
anyway.
how much? Can you imagine how much Mel Blanc had to talk to himself? He played like every freaking animated character in Looney Tunes.
right? For real. That's crazy to think that today is the 30th anniversary of Friday.
Oh wow.
What the? Oh my God! Yes, 95. I remember watching it on the Scrambler. Damn.
On the Scrambler.
Wow.
I remember going to the theaters to see Friday.
Yeah.
I used to have the soundtrack on vinyl record because I used to DJ at parties when I was in college.
That was a banging soundtrack, though.
Right? Anyways, we're way off. 30 minutes in the show, we have barely started talking wrestling yet. To be fair, there's not a whole lot of topics because everything kind of clumps into returns and like that type of thing. It's like if you even look at the graphic that I used on the video, with the exception of like The Rock and Mongo, it's all about people that returned to wrestling this week.
Yeah.
You know, Raw, we had the return of Rusev. Tuesday, we had the return of Noam Dar. Wednesday on Dynamite, Master P made a guest appearance. You know, coming out to make him say, which I told one of the people here, I was like, man, seeing that made me feel like it was 1999 again. Now I was watching WCW, Filthy Animals, No Limit Soldiers. Like, Hearing make him say over my TV again and watching Samoa Joe do the thing, it's like, yeah, I remember when that shit came out. That video was crazy.
No. Dude, Master P even played in the NBA for a minute.
For real. That's how I met him, because he came to like summer pro leagues a couple of times. And I would work the events at the Cal State Pyramid in Long Beach. And so I met him like once. Cool as hell, humble as hell.
That's dope.
You know, then then Friday was the return of Aleister Black. So it's like all about returns this week and some new champions. You know, Becky and Lyra lost the tag titles on Monday back to Liv and Raquel, which at first made absolutely no sense. People are like, oh, Becky Hogan had to strong arm herself into the championship. It was her idea to interrupt Liv's thing. It's like, I get it. I get why people are upset at it, but it does make a little bit of sense. Because you got to remember that Liv beat Becky to become champion to start the revenge tour. So Becky got her little bit of revenge by taking the tag titles off her, getting the pinfall, winning the titles. Then Lyra ate the pinfall to lose them back, which was the perfect catalyst for the heel turn. You know, I won them, you lost them, and now they can go down their road again. But as anti-Liv as I am, it still kind of sucks that they had to interrupt the title reign for 24 hours.
Yeah.
I'm the only one that had no issue with it because I predicted that's what was going to happen.
Yeah. When I was on the chat with them when they were doing their live Raw, I was like, yo, Becky's going to turn tonight. And Walter like, nah, not tonight. It's too early. Sure enough, as soon as they lost, I'm like, here it comes.
I thought it was going to happen on Tuesday. I predicted that everything was going to happen, just wrong date.
Yeah. Because Walter and I figured that whoever won the match on Stand and Deliver was going to dethrone them for the championships. So, I mean, but then Becky wouldn't have gotten her revenge to finish up the one angle and then begin the new one.
Right.
That's the only thing that would have been messed up there.
Yeah, that's a good point. I never thought of it that way.
Just like, ain't it a hell of a coincidence that the other new champion is the new champion the same day her husband debuts? What a hell of a coincidence.
Yeah.
You're right. Zelina Vega finally gets the W, and I know Noah was pissed. Noah was pissed. Man, I told him after we went off the air and from doing Simply Predicting yesterday, and he was hot, and I was like, whoa, Noah. I get your love for Chelsea. We all do. But you can't sit here and tell me Zelina doesn't deserve it.
I just feel bad for Zelina. I feel like she didn't get that pop. Like, you know how like when they crown a new champion, they get the fireworks afterwards? She didn't get nothing. I was like, wow.
I've seen a few videos on Twitter where they were like, don't let people fool you. She did get a pop, and it was like live crowd reaction. She did get a pop in the arena. I don't know why it didn't echo over the TV like that.
It just didn't come off the TV well. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
I feel like they've done so much to damage Zelina that maybe that's why it didn't come across on TV so good.
Yeah, because they def rebelled her too.
Well, I'm not even talking about just her music, but I mean, if you think about it, with the exception of the backlash in Puerto Rico, which was now, almost 2 years ago?
Yeah.
Like, what has she really done of any substance since then?
True. Yeah.
Nothing. She was a lackey for the LWO. They moved her to SmackDown during the transfer portal to get her away from the LWO. And then it's just like... She's had a couple of matches, nothing major. I think more people are probably pissed. Like, why didn't Mia Yim get the U.S. title?
Right.
You know, with the rivalry she had and with everything she's been doing, match wise, NXT wise, etc. And here comes Zelina, and just because her dude is back, they give her the title. I think there may be more animosity as far as that goes. Yeah, exactly. To Emmanuel's point, it came across so random that you didn't expect the title change.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I just hope it was to go to Alistair real quick. It was cool to see him coming back with his old theme and his own entrance. I just hope he doesn't get Def Repoed like Rusev did on Monday.
They even went back to his eye thing.
Yeah.
The whole presentation, from what I understand, was his old NXT presentation. So
It was. Yeah.
Yeah,
And he came back with his old theme song too, Root for All Evil or Root of All Evil or
That
whatever.
freaking theme rocks, dude.
I just hope he doesn't get Def Repoed like within the next week or two, because I don't know, like the
Wait a
Street
minute.
Profits.
What is Def Rebel a verb? Like, could y'all chill? Could y'all not go watch me and JJ's video? Can we stop with the shit?
Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I like some of Def Rebel's theme songs. Don't get me wrong. It's just, when Rusev came back on Monday, I figured, okay, he's gonna come back with his own theme, but that was CFO. Well, so is Rude. Yeah, see, I don't understand. Like, some of them can come back with their own theme songs, and then some of them can't. Like,
I think,
Profits.
and I could be wrong, because I didn't see a whole lot of Miro and AEW. So you AEW guys are going to have to help me here. But I feel like Rusev is coming back with more of the Redeemer gimmick that he had in AEW. He's coming with the Rusev Day shtick.
Yeah.
So that's why he had different music.
Gotcha. Makes sense.
So they wanted to have something that was more Redeemer-esque, as opposed to trodden out Rusev Day.
Yeah, makes sense.
If he had come out as a face, if he came out doing Rusev Day, then they may have given him the old music back. But since they're trying to keep that presentation, that's why the new music.
Yeah.
Not only that, if his old music hit, everybody would have expected, what's his name, Matt Rainwolf to come out with him.
Or Lana.
Because he interrupted a tag segment. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But what Nestor says could be very well true too, like music rights. So
possibly, but if other CFO songs are being used, then that doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
because WWE owns that library.
Yeah, that's true.
Because Bianca's theme is CFO.
Yeah,
she's been using that forever.
Yeah, that's true.
Same with the Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens theme. They're also NXT Black and Gold theme.
But some can be licensed and deal with the specific wrestler, and some are WWE and they let it expire, or because it's just like if you go and watch old Raws and stuff that have anything to do with music, they cut that stuff out because they probably only pay for the rights for that one time.
When it comes to pop music songs, yes. But if it's an entrance theme, I'm not sure. Undertaker's maybe the only exception.
Yeah.
Undertaker and maybe Victoria, because I'm not sure if they still have the rights for all the things she said.
I don't know. When it comes to Undertaker, don't get me wrong. His music is iconic. I really like the one where he talked in tongues at the beginning, and then it went into like the rock version. I kind of like that one. That's like my favorite Taker one.
But what was everybody's thoughts on all these returns?
I thought they were pretty cool. Like Rusev coming back. I mean, we all expected them to come back. We just didn't know exactly. I mean, Alistair, we knew he was coming back yesterday because of all his promos or his packages and stuff like that. Rusev coming back, that was cool to see. Hopefully they do right with these guys like the second time around. So
that's gonna definitely be the key, is doing what's right by them.
I know from what I've seen rumor wise or if you believe it, like Rusev only signed with WWE for like 2 years, so
I can believe that because he's starting to get up there in age anyway. So
yeah.
And he's a bit on the thicker side, so probably a little bit easier to get injured going at a fast pace.
Yeah.
See what happens after these 2 years. Can always renew the contract, extend.
Very true.
But it's funny because I feel like I called Rusev and Alistair, at least to my dad, because we were talking on Mania Sunday about Orton's mystery opponent, and I had mentioned the fact that it would, not make sense to have them debut or return at Mania, eat the L, when they could do one on Raw, one on SmackDown.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much exactly what they did. It's one on Raw, one on SmackDown.
Yeah. Oh, let's give it up for Fraxium last night too.
Dude,
their debut on SmackDown.
Yes. Their main roster debut.
We all thought they were going to break up.
Yeah, at first I thought it was just an appearance because we've seen Roxanne appear, we've seen the Meta Girls appear, we've seen other people appear, but not become like brand official. But then I saw the tweet from Triple H saying, SmackDown debut, or like welcome to SmackDown, whatever it was his exact wording. So they're officially on that roster now. So good on them.
Nice. More tag teams. More tag teams.
I'm a little shocked.
SmackDown doesn't need it. Raw does.
I was just going to say, I'm a little shocked they didn't go to Raw to give a boost to that division because, damn, SmackDown is stacked.
Yeah, Raw needed
Just look at the TLC match alone. They told you how stacked the SmackDown tag division is and how awesome it is.
Yeah, and don't get me started on that TLC match. That should have been on Mania instead of the Viking Raiders New Day match.
I think we all said
it. Since Big E once again did Jack Diddley shit, but sit there at the announcer's podium. It's like, man, if he had at least gotten involved in the match, maybe cost New Day the match, okay, then it makes sense to do it because it's something to further that story. But damn that lazy Big E.
The only saving grace is maybe the guy with the prosthetic leg didn't go to Mania, so that moment wouldn't have happened if it didn't happen on Friday.
That's fair. And I know Josh was pissed because that's something he's always wanted to do is be like front row and have his prosthetic leg be used in a match. And then Tez used that dude's leg and he was like, God damn it.
They were Raiders.
No. The Rusev thing. Go ahead, Ash.
Oh, I was about to say, I heard that TLC match was really good. I have to go check it out.
Mm-hmm. One of the best. And the great thing is they did a tribute to everybody who's famous. They pushed each other to get the tables. That was Dudley's shout out. Mm-hmm. They did the spear off the top rope while what's his name was hanging. That was the Edge and Christian shout out. They did like a swanton over the rope through the tables. That was the Jeff Hardy shout out. And then freaking Montez Ford in general was dressed like Shawn Michaels. That's just because
I saw that.
He made the big ladder match thing. They contributed to everybody. They did a why can't I think of English? What the fuck? I always wanted to translate it in Spanish. God damn it. They did a contribution to everyone that came before them. God damn, that's what I was trying to say.
Oh, okay, so they paid homage to all the classic.
Yeah, but they did it subtly, like it wasn't noticed by everybody. But I was like, yep, that's Edge and Christian right there. That's their spot. I was like, there's the Dudley spot. They did awesome, but with Rusev, it confused me a little because why did he interrupt a tag match? I almost thought he was the new muscle for New Day. Like I thought he was going to be Big E's muscle, but then he just kind of pointed at New Day or something, and they were scared. But then Xavier Woods kind of pointed, and it seemed like he was doing what Xavier Woods wanted. So I don't know.
We'll have to see come Raw if there's more to this or not. But it did seem a little bit odd. But at the same time, it was like, I don't think anybody was going to take the New Day versus the Alpha Academy seriously. And Otis and Tozawa have more or less become punch dummies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So what better way to bring back this monster heel than to send him in there against the crash test dummies?
Pretty much.
Rusev does look badass beating up big ass Otis though, because that's a big dude.
Right?
That'll be a good big Haas fight.
But
I think that's happening Monday.
But no one is going to think Otis is going to get the victory, so it doesn't matter.
Poor Otis.
Watching him squash Tozawa would be funnier because you know Tozawa will bump the shit out of it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
He'll go flying around the ring. Hell yeah.
Make Rusev look like $1 million.
It's also odd that he debuted. I know he belongs as a heel and better, but you know he's going to get a pop and everybody's going to cheer for him. You could have waited a week and turned him heel the week after because you know initially everybody's going to love him. They still cheered for him even though he did heel shit.
See, but I think that's part of why they went with the presentation that they did, because it's going to be easier to get people to boo him. If he had come out with the Rusev Day stuff, he would have had to have come back as a babyface.
Yeah, very true.
That's what the fact that he came out in that tag team segment. I just thought Matt was gonna pop out and do the intro for some reason. I just was like, "Holy shit!" And then they didn't do it.
I mean, there's still time. There's the partnership there.
He can
People
always
are crossing the line all the time.
He can always answer Elijah's challenge, and Matt's right there in commentary.
You could probably save it for a big pay-per-view event too, whether it be like TNA or WWE.
That's what I'm saying. On Rebellion, Elijah's got an open challenge. It could be him, and Matt's right there already on commentary. I'm not saying it will be, just saying there's an idea.
We were talking a bit about who could be the person answering the open challenge on Simply Predicting tomorrow. You know, yesterday we were talking about it. Definitely think it's going to be someone crossing the line. Supposedly somebody with their own tour bus wants to show up at Rebellion from the main roster. That's what Joe Hendry said. So
Cody Rhodes?
There's a few people that have their own tour bus. I'm not sure if he has his own tour bus or not, but a rumor I've heard going around the mills this past week is that a certain awesome one wants to do something with Joe Hendry. So answering Elijah's challenge, considering Elijah tag teams with Hendry, would be a good way to start the integration.
I would think Miz has a tour bus as long as he's been there.
Exactly.
I know Orton does. I know Orton 100% does, and I know Cody 100% does.
Cena usually does.
Yeah.
Seth and Becky supposedly do. So, but yeah, with Miz being there for 19 years, you could almost imagine that he would have one.
We're doing all this predicting it's going to be the most random person like Sean Spears or some freaking body.
Could be. Could all be a decoy, but you know, we'll find out tomorrow. I think the return that made me pop the most, though, surprisingly, was Noam Dar.
Yeah.
Because that's something that nobody had really been talking about. You know, we knew that Rusev was coming. We knew that Aleister Black was coming. It wasn't a matter of if, but when. But nobody, I think, knew that Noam Dar was ready to come back.
Or they never did anything for him, like any hype videos or anything.
You could have gave me 100 guesses. I would have never said his name.
Yeah, none of us would have thought that. That's true.
That one was
Gunther
back
has a bus that he got in his new contract. I forgot about that.
And he is technically indefinitely suspended, so could show up.
If he can't be on WWE, he can show up over there.
I got an idea about Gunther, but I'll put it out there later when we talk about it.
Emmanuel saying that Noam Dar got no reaction, sadly.
Well, apparently,
and I popped.
From what I read, I think like they said, like the Las Vegas crowd was just like so dead after the long week that they just didn't. There was nothing left in the gas for them.
That's fair. That's fair. I mean, shit, there was barely anything left in my gas tank.
Bro,
for
we both
NXT.
were kind of quiet. It's our NXT, and I'm like, fuck, dude, I'm worn out right now.
And then I had to go to work 2 more days before yesterday I slept till noon.
Shit, I wish I could.
I
sleep
don't
till
sleep
noon.
that long.
Me sleeping in is like 7:30, 8 o'clock.
See, usually I get up at 10. But I was getting up so early that lately I've been getting up at like 7 o'clock. And I've just been going back to sleep until my alarm goes off.
I was in the hotel. Okay.
I was going to say, but Friday I turned my alarm till noon, turned off the 10 o'clock one. And I'm just like, I am going to sleep as long as I humanly can. I still woke up like 6:30, 7 o'clock because I had to go to the bathroom, came back, laid back down, knocked back out, and I didn't wake back up until that alarm went off. I was like, thank you, Jesus. I needed this sleep.
I was in a hotel. My dumb ass prepped. I turned off the phone. I did everything. I was like, oh, I don't got to get up tomorrow. My stupid ass forgot to close the curtain, and the sun just beamed in my eye and woke me up. Like, I was like, God damn it.
I hate
thought I
when that
prepped
happens.
everything.
I'm just hoping, like, for Noam Dar, like, once he's done with the Heritage Cup, he actually goes on to challenge for, like, one of their mid-card titles down there and give them something to do.
Believe it or not, he's one that I feel like should just always stay in NXT. Don't ever call him up, because I really feel like he'll turn into, like, a Tozawa if you call him up.
Yeah, that's fair.
You gotta remember, Noam Dar's been there since the NXT UK days.
Right.
So he's been in WWE for almost 10 years.
Look at Ciampa. Ciampa was in NXT for a long time. He almost refused to get called up.
Ciampa, Gargano, Dar.
Yeah.
They were all part of the Cruiserweight Classic in 2016.
Yeah.
I want that to be on Netflix.
Nah, that's been.
I would love to rewatch the Cruiserweight Classic.
Look at Ash with the stats.
That might be on Tubi because I know a lot of NXT is on Tubi now that they have Evolve and everything.
It might be on Peacock.
Yeah, and it might still be on Peacock too.
I don't get Peacock in Canada.
You can try Tubi because
I was gonna say try Tubi. Tubi's a free app.
Yeah. Well,
Because
that's right. You're in Canada, so everything's on Netflix over there. So it might be on Netflix.
I know NXT is, but the Cruiserweight Classic is not. Oh, sorry. What were you saying, JJ? I didn't mean to interrupt.
I said maybe. I don't know.
I know we couldn't find Evolve for a minute, and we started like going through what's on Tubi. We found a bunch of NXT stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. This is off topic, but how does Tommaso Ciampa not look like Tommaso Ciampa with that beard? Oh my god. He looks like a baby. He looks older without the beard? Really? Okay.
It brings out all the more wrinkles and stuff in his face. I know what he means. Like that beard was hiding that.
He's still young though. I think he's like in his 30s. If I'm not mistaken.
Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's the camera angles I was getting, but it looks like when he cut the beard, like he had grayish stubble left behind.
Yeah.
Which made him look older because the beard was like dark brown.
Yeah.
But then you cut it and it looked like he had gray stubble, and it's like the gray is automatically going to make you look older.
Yeah. Well, you could tell he had like that 5 o'clock shave yesterday.
Dude, I think he made a mistake too in that match because he was up there for too long. I think he climbed the ladder too quick, and then he kind of had to play it off when he got on the belt.
Just glad the belt didn't fall as he was dangling there.
I know.
Yeah.
Then they would have been declared the champions.
Right.
Yep. Somebody would have pulled it out and said, "No, you got to pull the title down."
You've only got one. You got to get both.
Just like that. Didn't Cena do that with the briefcase and like broke a Big Show, so he had to be the winner? I don't even know if that happened on purpose, but
Right? But the way Cena played it off made it look like, I think that was what year was that? Was it 2013 or 20? Was that 2014 Money in the Bank when that happened? I think it was 2014 Money in the Bank when that happened. I could be wrong.
I think you're right.
But yeah, the returns of but Noah, I say Noah because I read that comment. It is Noam. Noam was the most surprising of all of them.
Yeah,
that was like some left field, but it made sense because he was so synonymous with that cup.
Yeah,
to the point where I got.
Sorry, Charles was saying it was 2012 one where Cena won. Go ahead.
I thought that was 2012. Wasn't that the year where didn't Brian win that, or was that 2011?
Ryan won in 2011.
Okay.
Yeah,
Continue
2012. I think 2012 was Sandow.
I'm gonna look this up now.
2012.
You're right.
Whichever
now
one
everyone wants to
Sandow
look it up.
Whichever one Sandow won, I was there in person because I remember it was Philadelphia.
That might have been 2012.
What's up, Cleaver?
Hey, yo.
What up, Colin?
Hello.
I was
Cleaver
definitely there
is
in
into
person.
his house.
But he had a great return. This whole week was just awesome in general.
It was.
Raw had the best show though.
Yeah.
SmackDown, pretty much the TLC thing was the only one that really saved it. The show itself was,
yeah.
I don't know, man. I mean, I'm sitting here watching SmackDown while doing Simply Predicting, and my jaw's fucking hitting the floor because I'm getting Jade Cargill and Tiffany Stratton.
Yeah. I
And
love
I'm
it.
like,
And I'm sitting there trying not to spoil it while I'm in the comments. I'm saying, I ain't say shit. I was just like,
You know, that,
And
that,
then they gave us
the
the actual
Orton
match.
Cena segment at the beginning was good. I wasn't
Yeah.
able to hear everything because I had it turned down so the mic wouldn't
Dude,
pick it up.
Cena and Orton were like going at it. You know, see, this Cena heel turn is it's working. It's
Or
working.
it told them, you need to be a father because you're missing something in your life, and that's what it is. He said, did you just parent shame me? You go, they still going back and forth for money.
And then Cena's like, I don't need to have kids. He's like, I've been raising your kids for the past 25 years. I'm like,
Yeah,
I'm looking
he was
around. I was
talking
like, I don't
about-
have any kids. You haven't been raising my kids.
Cena won the 2014 Money in the Bank.
Okay, it was
that's crazy.
2014.
We were all off.
This is the craziest dynamic flip, yo. A face Orton versus a heel Cena.
Right?
It's just crazy.
Fucking Orton was right. Bizarro world.
I gotta stop making jokes because last year I said to my mom, it's like, hey mom, wouldn't it be funny if Jey Uso wins the Rumble? Jey Uso wins the Rumble. And I'm like, hey, wouldn't it be funny if sometime in 2025 Cena and Orton have a match for the title at a pay-per-view? And look what's happening.
Oh, my girl returned. Hold up. We ain't even talking about this one. Nia Jax returned. My girl. Sorry,
Yeah,
DJ.
there you go.
Dude, I've been the only one that's been on Nia Jax since.
Bridge.
Dude, I've been all over Nia since she debuted. I always liked Nia, and I had to take the shit when she injured people. I had to take all that shit from everybody. I was the only one defending Nia.
For a
I'm sure
second,
we're all over Nia.
I thought for a second last night we were gonna get a female bloodline, but then
We
like,
are. I'm telling you.
but
we're
like
gonna get it.
Naomi and Nia were looking at each other, and Naomi's like, "Well, proceed with caution." I was like, Nia
and then
Jax
she
is
went,
like,
"Dude."
"All right, crazy, you crazy
Seeds
woman."
are being planted, possibly.
Yeah. Hey, one thing though, I still like AEW. Don't get me wrong, but AEW, look how Cena sold that RKO. That's how you sell. Not getting up after freaking brain buster. Thank you very much.
Osprey. Sorry, I had a cough there for a second. Sorry.
Had an assassin stuck in your throat.
I do not want that.
AEW, the wrestlers, they just need to. I mean, some of them do it, but they need to sell better, make it more believable.
Mm-hmm.
Not just that, but they also gotta let moves breathe. Like sometimes it feels like they rush into sequences a little too much.
And see, that's why I can't really. That's why that's why I haven't been watching it lately. Like, not to go on to AEW real quick, but it's not believable for me. I just want to enjoy it. You know, I want to enjoy the storytelling like WWE is doing right now, and like. You look at, when AEW does like a package pile driver, they get right back up. But when WWE did it, they made it like this horrendous thing. I don't know. I don't want to talk about AEW.
That's because it was banned for so long, though.
I know JJ's got more topics. Let's go.
No. We're good because, again, really, I don't have a whole lot tonight. Like, again, look at the image.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
We're knocking a bunch of those out of there with the returns. So
with the turns, Mongo passed away too. That sucks.
That's sad. Yeah.
It was a matter of time.
I mean, he wasn't doing that well
on his
for the longest time.
No offense, but
yeah.
So
I have questions to ask you about the returns.
Yes, please.
For Rusev, for like everyone, who would you like to see them feud, like be in a program with or feud with, like for the next? I'm gonna say going into the next pay-per-view. Like who do you want to see Noam Dar feud with, Alistair feud with, and Rusev?
Well, I mean, Alex is facing The Miz on Friday, but God, I don't know. Do you throw Alistair right into the title scene though? Maybe the mid card with the U.S. title down the line. Same with Rusev.
I was going to say down the line.
Title. Because I'm sure Rusev is going to face Otis on Monday. Because they're going to do that. And then, I don't know who Rusev face, though. I don't know.
I don't want him to beat Dom. Let Dom's title reign breathe a while.
Yeah. Dude, how bad do you think Becky's... Not to sidetrack Ash real quick, but do you think Becky's going to join this new Paul Heyman alliance with the Breaker and Rollins?
Possibly. It makes sense given how she recently turned heel, and it would fit well with the persona.
Okay.
He needs to, and he needs to bring back the big ass gray cell phone. Just bring it back. just for the hell of it, bring it back as you lead this group. That'd be dope. The early 90s big ass gray cell phone.
The brick phone.
I saw an episode of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air the other day, and he had one in his hand. I was like, God damn, let's bring it back.
I'm assuming the old one, yes?
Yeah, like the big block, like a brick phone, literally.
I always used to call it the Zach Morris model.
Yep.
God, yeah. Oh,
basically,
go ahead, Walter.
It looked like the cordless phone you used to have at your house. You just traveled with it.
Yeah. Safet just brought it up, but Stephanie and Julia on Raw. Holy crap! What a moment!
Right.
I don't think that was their debuts though.
No, it wasn't their debut, but just to have that moment on Raw.
And Roxanne, wait a minute. Don't act like Roxanne ain't part of it. Just gonna leave my girl out of it.
Roxanne's been showing up on Raw. Oh, she was on SmackDown or on Raw a little bit with Bayley until they cut that up. Poor Bayley. Oh my God.
This is why I think Roxanne attacked Bayley. It's gonna come back.
Yeah.
Just be patient.
Mm-hmm. See, for Rusev, I don't know, because you got to think of another good big-time babyface to put him up against. And I'm not sure who you can go with right now. You wouldn't want to have him go against Jey Uso. But you need somebody to really help make Rusev and the point that he's there. He's the hardest one for me to figure out. I feel like Noam Dar needs to run it back again with Lexis King.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe do something with, God, I want to say do something with Oro Mensah, because I feel like there's going to be some tension in the metafold, because almost everybody has moved on from him.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So I almost feel like there's got to be something there with him and Oro Mensah. Or now that Chase U looks like it's being resurrected, do something with Andre Chase.
Noah. Oh,
I know Noah's pissed.
I'm happy as all get out, though.
Yeah, you are. I saw the video. I was like, oh, JJ's like, he's got that smile on his face.
it was to the point. I was a little ahead of JJ, because I was watching that live TV, and I waited. I was like, wait till his reaction. I just sat there, his jaw open. I was like, yeah! It was hilarious.
I was so happy.
A kid opened the Christmas present, basically.
Alistair, I think once he's done with The Miz, he's probably going to do something with Mello.
Ooh, that'd be pretty sweet. I wouldn't mind that.
Yeah.
Because Mello Don't Miz has been more entertaining than it should have been.
Yeah.
And I think that there could be something there. Because if you think about it, when Andrade came back, he worked with Mello. And now Aleister Black is back. Have him work with Mello. You know, kind of all the guys that are coming back home from AEW are getting the chance to work with Mello, who's this next generation, you know, up and coming prospect future of the company. Let them pass their knowledge on to him working these matches.
Yeah. I want to see. This is my NXT Black and Gold, JJ. But I want to see Johnny and Aleister run it back. And I want to see Aleister and Andrade run it back.
Right, because those were freaking banger matches.
Just throwing that out there.
Right, like that.
Just throwing that into the SmackDown universe.
Just run it back.
You know what I want to see? Rusev dominate for a while, and when Ilya Dragunov comes back, I want to see them two go at it.
Oh, would be a sweet hoss fight between those two.
Mm-hmm. Just the countries they represent too. Russia and Bulgaria, like, because they're so similar, they're gonna go at it. That's just gonna be a banger.
Banger in both words, right? Both sense of the word, right?
Yeah.
Damn.
Do you think we're gonna get Rusev and Gunther?
JJ, you were reading my freaking mind, dude. I was literally thinking of that.
Because both of them are heels. That's the only thing that's making me hesitant.
I mean, they could turn Rusev face back or turn face eventually down the line.
They could also turn Gunther face, depending on how long he's gonna be suspended for.
Yeah, that's true too.
By the time he comes back, you know, they may be over Jay and wanting Gunther to get his shit back.
Yeah.
If Jay is everything that the hater fans say he is, by the time Gunther comes back, they may be ready to be done with Jay. And in the meantime, you could have Rusev do his thing with the Alpha Academy, because there's only a couple weeks between now and Backlash.
Yeah.
Hey man, if you need some, if you're gonna have Seth and Braun dominate, and somebody's got to go against them eventually, why don't you turn Gunther and Rusev face and have them go against like be together, like. But then I don't know. I don't want Rusev to fall back into that that group shit he did with like the
we don't
League of
we
whatever
don't
the hell it was.
we don't need it.
League of Nations.
Yeah, we don't need League of
Or
Nations.
as one reviewer used to call them, that one reviewer I used to watch called them the League of Jobbers.
Yeah.
Because that's pretty much what they did. Like the whole purpose of the League of Nations came together was to, like, you can make the argument that they came together to help get Roman Reigns over as a babyface again. Which we can make the argument that it succeeded because it's kind of funny how that worked out when Roman Reigns got that title back. He got it in the same city that mercifully booed him at the 2015 Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
While you guys are talking, I'm trying to figure out what to do with Aleister Black, man. He
tough,
might be one
isn't
from the main roster that can cross the line because he could be the answer that finally dethrones the system. Everybody's like, yo, how does the system get destroyed? Aleister Black can be the black, the
man.
virus that destroys the system.
Ooh, that's a good theory.
There you go.
I think a lot of it depends on what happens in the draft.
Yeah, because that's coming up. That's probably coming up like in the next month or so.
Should be, yeah. I mean, you figure that the draft usually happens between Mania and Backlash.
Yeah.
It hasn't happened yet. There's only 2 more Raws before Backlash.
Oh, I think they're waiting for after Backlash because you know how they did it beforehand, where like they would do it right before Backlash, but like somebody who was on Raw was on SmackDown. Like, what was? Yeah. I think they learned their lesson.
Can they please just go back to calling it a shakeup? It's not a draft. To me, a draft is you go from the minor leagues like college, like football, to the major leagues. If you're gonna call it a draft, grab people from NXT. You get 5 picks for each show. SmackDown and 5 Raw, 5 SmackDown, and you get to pick from NXT, and you do it like the NFL draft. WWE is already trying to make it like it's a real sport. Do it that way. The only people you draft are NXT people, not switch brands, because you don't take the switch brands serious any damn way. You might as well make it different, and you only get to pick from NXT.
I like that idea.
Maybe shorten it, 5 picks. That way you're not losing too many NXT people at once. Because that's what a draft means to me. If you think about any other sport, is a draft is from you get picked from the lower tier to the higher tier. So either call it a shakeup or don't call it, or draft from the NXT.
That's fair.
And then if you're gonna get people switch brands, you can use that like sports does their draft picks or their trades. I'll trade you this to get your draft pick from the NXT. So now, like, I'm throwing names out there. I'm not saying they're gonna get switched, but hey, I'll throw you a Drew McIntyre if you give me an extra NXT pick. Like, do it like that and make it seem like it's a real sport. If you want somebody to switch brands like that, that's what you do. Roman Reigns is your biggest piece. Hey, I'll give you Roman Reigns if you give me 3 NXT picks. Like, you know what I mean?
That's not a bad shout. And then, maybe after SummerSlam, you could do the superstar shakeup part of it, and do the transfer portal for like a week or 2. Let negotiations be made. Stars can swap the brands. Even though, like you said, the brand split doesn't really work, it does work for the most part. There's really only certain people that they ever usually jump, and it's only usually certain times of the year.
Yeah.
Usually it's around War Games. I'd say between War Games and Mania is when you see it the most, Survivor Series to Mania. Because there's a lot of interpromotional usually within the War Games matches and the Survivor Series teams.
Yeah. You got to remember, Roman and John Cena are quote unquote free agents, so they can jump brands whenever they want to.
And we know that they pay attention to us. So.
Right?
Well, we did get a super chat a little bit ago from Emmanuel. Thank you very much for that, Emmanuel. Buy or sell that Naomi would dethrone Tiffany. I could buy it.
Yeah, with this heel turn, yeah, she definitely needs a run as the heel with the title.
I definitely could buy it. I'm not ready for Tiffany to lose it yet, but I can buy it.
Yeah.
And especially if Nia helps her in order to get her revenge on Tiffany to further the female bloodline. Like Naomi is doing her thing with Tiffany, but then the Jade effect comes into things. You know, kind of running back how it went here on this episode of SmackDown. Jade comes to get involved with Naomi. Naomi comes out, or Nia comes out to be the equalizer. You know, give the fuck did she call it? The Nia, the fucking bomb in the corner.
The Annihilator.
Thank you, the Annihilator.
For
For some reason, I was blanking on that. It's like, I know it has something to do with her name, the Annihilator. You know, take Jade out, give Tiffany the Annihilator so she gets her revenge. Naomi gets the pinfall, 1, 2, 3. They raise each other's arm and embrace.
Yep.
There you go.
And that way, maybe a face gets the Money in the Bank, and that's how you dethrone Naomi eventually.
Do you think it's possible that Jade could win Money in the Bank this year, or is it too early for her?
I think it's possible.
Shoot,
I
Tiffany won it.
don't know how likely it is, though.
I almost want to say it's kind of too obvious if Jade wins. Like,
if Naomi gets the belt, then it's almost too obvious. I'd say, I would almost say have Naomi get the belt after Money in the Bank has been established. Because otherwise, well, no, you don't want to do that either, because if Naomi gets the belt and Jade already has the briefcase, then the minute she wins it, she's cashing it in on Naomi.
Hell yeah. But to answer Emmanuel's question, I'll buy that for $1.
What would almost be good is you have Naomi win the title. You know, let's say it happens at Backlash or whatever they do after Backlash before Money in the Bank. Because June, as of right now, I don't think has a PLE established for it. It might be Night of Champions, I've heard. They may do King, Queen of the Ring again. Nothing's been made official. We'll see what happens. So either at Backlash or at the June PLE, you have Naomi win. Then you have Jade get the briefcase at Money in the Bank in July. Then everybody assumes Jade is going to cash in on Naomi. And then Bianca wins the title on Raw. And you have Jade cashing on Bianca, and that's how we finally get the boot drop that Bianca was in on it too. After ignoring it all this time, you have Jade take the title away from Bianca via cash-in. And that's how we can get back to that. And everyone thinking Bianca was involved. That's a fair shout out to Nestor, but we still don't know if Evolution's going to happen. And if Evolution happens, it was rumored that would be July 6th, which is the day before the double PLEs for AAA and Money in the Bank. So that would be a little bit difficult. So I'm thinking that's not going to be the date if they do it. It could still be the June PLE. And I mean, it's not to say that they can't do Evolution and then do Money in the Bank. But any woman that's doing Money in the Bank would almost not have to be on the Evolution or would have to catch a red eye from Connecticut if the rumor is true to LA.
Or you could use Evolution as all the you do like a woman, every match is all the qualifiers for the Money in the Banks.
Nah. Nah. If you're doing Evolution, you want every women's championship that you've got under your umbrella presented.
That's true.
So you want to have the World Women's title, the WWE Women's title, the Women's Tag titles, the NXT Women's title, the North American title, the Knockouts title, the Knockouts Tag titles, and do what AAA Women's titles are there?
I was about to ask if AAA has any women's title because I don't follow AAA.
I think there's one.
But that's at least 7 matches. 8 if AAA has a championship for the women.
If
that's
really
good
going to
for
be
a PLE. And every match is a title match.
If it's really going to
for
be
a
a
women's
thing,
championship.
that might be where Lyra can lose to Becky.
Yeah, that's possible.
But do you want to hold that long? Because that's a long way. Yeah.
I almost would see it in reverse. I'd see Becky taking the title at Backlash, and that's where Lyra could win it back. You know, at that big stage.
We'll see. I need
I'm
that to hurry up
surprised
and
they
announce
haven't made that announcement yet. Yeah, like if you believe the journalists out there, it was supposed to be announced fucking like 3 weeks ago.
Well,
But it hasn't.
you steal our ideas anyways, Triple H. So I know you watch. Could you just hurry up and announce it? Because you're messing with my plans to move. Because I'm not moving until after that PLE.
Don't say that. What if that PLE doesn't actually happen? Then you're not moving.
No, I'm saying that's what I'm hanging on to pick the day in July that I'm moving. If that's gonna be rumored in July, then I'm gonna wait till after that PLE because I'm going. Damn it.
But what if that PLE doesn't happen until September?
Well,
What if it's all just been a heavy rumor to fuck with the dirt sheets and that pay-per-view doesn't happen?
Well, if it doesn't happen, I'm out at a certain day in July, and if it happens after, I'll be out earlier.
2 more bucks from Emmanuel. Thank you. Who's dethroning Stephanie? The easy answer would be Julia, but I still think they're both getting drafted. Especially after the match Stephanie had with Io. I think Stephanie is as good as drafted.
If anyone deserves to have. But then you belittle. I was going to say, if you have that money and we have that idea, why not cash in on an NXT person? Like Stephanie is such a big person that someone actually took that briefcase and cashed it on the NXT title rather than the other two, since they'll be tied up in whatever feud you're going to tie it up in. And it'll make Stephanie look strong. Like, wow, out of all the champions, you went after Stephanie. And then whoever has it can beat her for it. Yeah. Now you're putting NXT on the map. You do that. Now you make that title as equal to the other two. But I don't know if they'll pull that trigger.
Yeah, I don't know if they will either. And Safet's right. I forgot that's June 7th, not July 7th for Money in the Bank. So Money in the Bank is the June PLE. So we could still do Evolution in July. Some reason I thought it was July that they announced, not June. Then again, everything starts to bleed together, as we discovered this past WrestleMania week.
That's true. But
yeah,
I've got to go back and like re-watch some of those shows just so I can like see things again, because everything got so bled together.
Yeah,
everything was a clusterfuck.
Hey.
That's an
So-
understatement.
So according to this, May 10th is Backlash. The May 24th is Saturday night's main event. You got
25th is Battleground.
Battleground. Then June 7th is Worlds Collide and Money in the Bank, like you just said. And then so that takes care of June. July is another Saturday night's the main event. So they haven't announced the PLE for that. And then August you got SummerSlam at the beginning. And
Clash
then
in Paris at the end.
At the end, and nothing for September yet.
Or October. And then we have Survivor Series announced.
Yeah, October they're supposed to be in Perth though. So yeah, November is Survivor Series. So yeah, they still gotta say something for September and July for PLEs.
So Evolution could still be in July. But damn it, Hunter, do something. Don't wait till fucking Backlash to announce it.
You know what they might be doing? They might be new Night of Champions in Saudi for September.
That's fair. That's a fair shout. But I don't know if they're going to go to Saudi.
Oh,
because they've got the Rumble next year.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So it could be. They might
like
be doing
if they were going to do a Saudi show, I feel like they should have already done it. Because doing a Saudi show at the end of the year and then be going back there in January for the Rumble doesn't make sense.
That's true.
And I'm still waiting to see how that works because you're going to have 30 women in a Royal Rumble match in Saudi Arabia. Like, dude.
Hot as shit in those bodysuits, too.
Yep, because they can't show skin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you're probably going to have at least one women's title match. So 32 women wrestling in Saudi. Which, holy hell for progress, but damn, those women are going to be hot.
Right.
Nia Jax may lose about 10 pounds sweating out there. I'm not trying to be funny, but damn.
Yeah, you're right. No, I mean, like, it is hot as hell.
I mean, you're not wrong. I went for I walked to work yesterday for the first time, and afterwards I felt like I lost a couple pounds myself because it's pretty hot up here in Winnipeg, finally.
We just got nice weather over here, and then today it rained like a mofo and had a thunderstorm.
Yeah, I was going to say, we must have done traded because today it was cold, it was windy, it was sprinkling. I've had the heater going as we've been on the air here in the house. It says it's 43 degrees outside. Yeah, I'm wearing a hoodie inside, or I should say outside of Arkham,
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah.
You're making me
running away before Batman can apprehend me again.
I want to play the game Escape from Arkham now, and I got it on the PS, but
I was also doing a little bit of fact checking for like the Money in the Bank stats. So John Cena did win Money in the Bank in 2014, but that was for the title. And yeah, he did win Money in the Bank. I forgot it was for 2012 because he cashed in on Raw 1000 against CM Punk, which then led into the Royal Rumble 2013 fiasco that people are still mad about to this day.
Gee, I wonder why.
And I don't blame them. I really don't.
Look, at the time it happened, I wasn't because I'm such a Rock fan. But considering that what happened with him this year and inserting himself, and I can understand why in hindsight people would be mad about that because did it again there.
Mm-hmm. That's why I made
the guy to dethrone CM Punk and end that reign just so that he could lose the belt to John. And
but was that his call or was that Vince's?
I don't know. I mean, you don't know. It's easy to say it's Vince's call, but when you're the highest paid person in Hollywood, some stroke comes with that.
That's true.
Man, I remember watching that. I was so because I'm a fan of both CM Punk and The Rock. So when The Rock won the title. I was like, oh, cool, my old childhood favorite's the champion again. And then that sudden realization came to be like, oh shit, Punk's not the champ no more. Oh shit! Like, so I'm like at a bit of a crossroads here.
Yeah, I wasn't completely mad that Rock won the title. I was more mad that I could see the writing on the wall that he was just gonna lose it to John Cena, and I was so anti-Cena at that point. I'm like, why did we hand Rock a 2-month title reign just to lose it to John Cena? Why?
And now here we are.
And we could have had 2 more months onto Punk's reign.
Yeah.
If that was really the plan. Like, come on.
Although, to be fair, you can make the argument that people would be complaining too, that if, sure, CM Punk would have had the main event early, but at the same time, you know how the IWC is. They'd be bitching, they'd be like, oh yeah, typical WWE. They built up this one guy just to ultimately feed him to Cena.
Mm-hmm.
Which I damn well know that would have happened.
That basically was like ending the streak before they ended the streak. The fact that they just ended CM Punk's reign just to do that.
Right?
Because if you think about it, they ended Taker's streak, and really Lesnar didn't do jack shit with it. Like,
because Lesnar didn't need it. If they were going to end the streak, I've said this for years, if they were going to end the streak, they needed to do it to somebody who could benefit off it.
Yeah.
Now I give the logic in the fact that Brock was a legitimate athlete. That Brock was an NCAA Division I heavyweight champion, a former UFC champion coming back. Okay, cool. Legitimate athlete, defeat The Undertaker, it makes sense.
Yeah.
But Brock was part-time.
Yeah.
Well, Brock had already achieved accolades. He didn't need it. I still hold in my heart of hearts, and I will die on this mountain till this day, Randy Orton should have ended the streak at WrestleMania 21.
Okay.
He would have had the most to gain out of anybody because at that point, he was still neck deep in the legend killer gimmick.
Yeah, he was.
What better legend to kill than the streak of WrestleMania?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the time to pull that trigger. And we had just only really kind of started to establish the fact that there was a streak to begin with.
Yeah.
You know, so it wouldn't have been built into this larger than life myth that it became. Because only, I don't know if is somebody else hearing that?
Hearing what?
Okay, it's just I was hearing like this random static. I wasn't sure if anybody else was hearing that, if it was just me.
I was hearing it a little bit too, but as soon as Ash muted, it went away.
Interesting. Because she's unmuted now and it's not there.
Okay, because that's why I muted, because I wasn't sure.
It might have been Walter. Isn't that Walter's muted?
Yeah, true.
I just muted now though, and you stopped hearing it before.
It's static in the YouTube.
So yeah, I'll die on that hill that it should have been Randy Orton.
Yeah. Well, I can't remember if Taker said it in his documentary that he did, that he was supposed to win against Lesnar, but then Vince came to him during the show and switched it up. So, which I thought was really weird. Like, if it wasn't Orton, it should have been Wyatt the next year at 31. I think Wyatt would have definitely benefited from winning, beating Taker at WrestleMania 31.
Well, that would have been 10 years later, not the next year. Because Orton was Mania 21.
I get that you're saying you die on the hill. I die on the hill that it should have just never been broken. Undertaker should have had the respect that his shit was never touched. Like, no one's ever going to come close to this. And I would have just never broken it.
I agree. I agree with that it just should have never been broken. But if it was going to end Like I say, it needs to be somebody that was going to benefit. Even Edge, to the point here in the chat, Edge didn't need it at that point.
Yeah.
You know, he already had become the ultimate opportunist. He no longer needed that.
If rumors are to be believed, they offered Edge to do it, and Edge said, "No, I'm not breaking that streak." But that's rumors. Edge and Shawn Michaels were both asked by, I don't know if it was Taker or Vince, but they both were asked to end it, and they both said nope.
I don't blame him.
Roman's an interesting one, to Charles's point, because at the point where Roman beat Taker, fans were already against Roman.
Yeah.
So
if it was this version of Roman, yeah, do it. If he was that with the no vest and the no, but the fact that he was already the Cena version of Roman, where thrown in your face and nobody liked him, that would have made it bad for him. You might not have ever been able to turn him. Like, no one would have ever liked him, ever.
Yeah, and I mean, I get it, because Roman was calling himself the big dog, and Undertaker always said that he was the big dog that runs this yard. So I could get it, you know, the battle of the big dogs, who truly is the big dog. But Taker, number one, would have had to have been the badass going in, because that's the guy that used to say that this was his yard, and he's the big dog that runs it. He couldn't have been the dead man.
I don't know. That was still the suffering succotash version of Roman, so I don't know.
Isn't that the match that Taker got concussed and couldn't remember that either, or something like that? And had really
that was Brock's
Brock.
Yeah, that was the last one.
I swear he had a match against Roman that he couldn't remember. It was like so bad.
That was Goldberg.
Oh, maybe it was Goldberg.
Because the one with Roman is the one where he left his boots, hat, and jacket in the rain afterwards.
Okay, that was WrestleMania 34, wasn't it? 33.
33, I think.
33, because that's when the Hardys came back at 33. Yeah, 33. Okay.
That's a good shout out. I don't know though. Mark Henry would have been a good one. Man, like they could have did so much with that whole Hall of Pain thing, and they didn't pull it. He could have had a way better title run.
Agreed there. I liked his title run, but it could have been so much more if he had beaten Undertaker. Okay.
I was gonna bring something up anyway.
What? What's up?
The Gunther thing and what I think about it. I put it on Twitter earlier, but I'll say it here, and I would love you guys' thoughts on it.
Okay, yeah, because I saw Nestor mention it. What was your Gunther idea?
Yeah. So now it kind of threw a hole in it now that they suspended him. But I was gonna say now, Michael Cole's obviously not a wrestler. So, and a lot of the commentators are former wrestlers. So I figure you start doing this thing where everybody tries to defend Michael Cole's honor, and he just runs through them all. So first Pat McAfee does it. Gunther beats the hell out of it. You don't have to job everyone. I'm just saying how you get to what I want to eventually. So you get that out of the way. Then maybe Corey Graves tries to defend his honor. Comes back since he was cleared. Gunther runs through Corey Graves. Booker T tries to defend Michael Cole's honor. You run through Booker T. Wade Barrett tries to defend his honor. Get through. So he's running through all these commentators and older wrestlers until you eventually get to Michael Cole makes one more call and it's I need somebody to defend my honor that can actually stand up to Gunther. And that's when you get Goldberg, and you do the Goldberg versus Gunther finally, since you already kind of teased that a while ago, and that's his retirement match. But you got to have Gunther retire him. You got to beat him because he lost at Mania. This is Gunther's way of getting back. Now he just ran through all these people, and now he gets Goldberg, and you have him beat the hell out of Goldberg and finally retire him too, just so Gunther looks like a badass again after losing to Jay.
I mean, that
And you
wouldn't
can
be a
kind of
bad
stretch
idea.
this out all the way to SummerSlam. It's Gunther and him to SummerSlam.
I could see McAfee doing it, but I don't think they're gonna. I mean, because I could. It's not a bad idea. I'm not gonna say it's don't let. Oh my god, I can't even talk right now. I don't say that they're not gonna pot. They might do it, but they might do it a different way to get to that match. Because I know Goldberg is still owed his retirement match, and they, like you said, they did tease him and Gunther a while back ago. Now, I mean, it's not a bad idea.
The reason I said procrastinate to SummerSlam because you're giving them time to get in shape for the match.
True, that's true.
So it's like you come back from this. Actually, the suspension even works even better because now you gave time, and then you can procrastinate even more until these commentators standing up for Cole, and he's running through them all.
Yeah.
And they don't all have to be on PLEs. They could be on a Raw. You do it each Raw. A week is gonna pass it each time, or maybe a couple of weeks. So you can that way you get procrastinated till night 1 or 2 or SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could work. Yeah, so when we get the teased Gunther Gunther Goldberg match.
Mm-hmm.
And there's actually storyline purposes for it too.
Mm-hmm. Because it's basically everybody defending Michael Cole's honor. Because it's like pick on someone your own size. And though these commentators are smaller, at least they actually know how to wrestle. Cole doesn't.
Yes, as evident by WrestleMania 27.
Hey, Michael Cole is undefeated at WrestleMania.
Right?
Yeah, sadly.
They did look like he was cooking something while I was talking, though. I could see his
I was looking something up. Something up because I like your idea. I do. I just wanted to try to add to it.
Oh, okay.
Because, and granted, we know that his health isn't in the best, but I would love to see Jerry Lawler make a one-off.
Oh, okay.
In order to be able to do something as far as this goes, especially considering Michael Cole was there when he had his heart attack, and essentially that moment turned Cole babyface.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd love to be able to see Lawler get in on this, even if it's just like a quick thing, Lawler comes in there to defend him. Last line of defense before the call is made. He can even do it in Memphis or in Nashville. And the bell sounds. Gunther locks him in the sleeper right away. He can pass out, tap out immediately. That way he doesn't have to take any serious physical bumps. But just the fact to trot him out there for the moment would be big to help that angle. And then I'm thinking, okay, well, who else are we connected to via deals? And you keep bringing up Matthew Rainwalt.
Mm-hmm.
Have him get in there to defend Cole's honor. Former wrestler turned commentator.
Mm-hmm.
And now with the AAA acquisition, their English commentator, or one of their English commentators, is the former teacher Matt Stryker.
Mm-hmm.
So now you've got Matt Stryker involved as well. Former WWE wrestler, former wrestler turned commentator.
Mm-hmm.
So now you've got McAfee, Graves, Barrett, Booker, Lawler, Stryker, Raywalt.
Mm-hmm.
You've almost got an entire year booked. Stream this through to fucking Mania next year.
It's true. Giving
Mania is going to be in New Orleans, which is not far from Georgia, which is where Goldberg is from, played for the Falcons.
Mm-hmm.
Cut it out.
So it would almost be like a homecoming of sorts for him, because it would be same general region.
Mm.
And you just string this out over the months with SummerSlam, Survivor Series, and Rumble being some of your more high-profiled people.
Mm-hmm.
And the smaller PLEs can be some of the lesser knowns.
And that gives Goldberg way more than enough time to get in ring shape. Yeah.
So that's just me adding a little seasoning into your pot that you got.
Hey, hell, damn it. If Austin wants to do a little one-off, the same thing as Jerry, just a quick, that'll really make Gunther look badass. If he put Austin to sleep.
And I mean, we don't know what contract status is with some of these people, but who's to say that in a year's time or within that year's time, Taz, Paul White, Chris Jericho, people who have done commentary on the AEW side of things may be free to be inserted in this for extra hands.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Taz and Cole was like the initial announce team.
Yeah.
Taz coming back to have his honor. JBL is under a Legends deal. Has been showing up wherever the fuck he wants with his lone wolf cowboy gimmick.
Shit.
Who's to say JBL can't come back to defend Cole's honor?
This is turning Gunther into a legend killer now.
An announcer legend killer.
That's really going to get some heat on Gunther.
Especially if he comes back after the suspension as a babyface. What better way to get that heat back on him?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly, by attacking all these beloved commentators.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they might actually cheer for if he chokes out Booker T.
So you make him be the first one, or one of the first ones.
Yeah, true.
You know, I don't know. I mean, I think Booker is beloved enough that you could save him for like a SummerSlam or Survivor Series match. Because he is a two-time Hall of Famer.
I would go to the choke about and kind of just mock him while he's on the ground, like, oh yeah, man, and walk out, like just something funny, like talk shit to him.
Whatever the NXT PLE is prior to SummerSlam, have that be where he like attacks them. So that we can then build to the match at SummerSlam.
I think it's Battleground, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, no, Battleground is the end of May, but there's still June, July. There's got to be a July.
Oh, yeah.
Traditionally, NXT does a PLE every other month and then a TV special in the off.
TV special. So they'll have the Great American Bash in July.
Yeah, probably. And
And Booker T's got history with the Great American Bash. It's where he won the title.
Bingo.
There you go.
So there you go. I'm going to go off camera for a little bit. I just got handed my dinner plate, so I'm going to be eating, but I'll be here talking, so don't be alarmed.
You could just have him, or have him choke him out and just says, yeah, I just did that, like as a nod to his, tell me you didn't just say that or stuff. Choke his ass out, like, yeah, I just did that.
So many Booker T-isms Gunther can throw back at him after tapping him out.
Dude, Charmel used the whole tell me you didn't just say that when she was getting into it with La Princesa.
Yeah.
That's true, yeah.
Excuse me.
So she brought up her husband's shit, so I could definitely see Gunther saying that.
I swear to God, if they start doing this, then it's definitive that they watch our shit. Somebody should just clip the little part where we got into this and tag Triple H and see.
Right?
Tag them to be creative.
Seriously.
Tag Nick Khan, tag The Rock, tag Triple H.
I'm
Tag
just saying,
everybody.
If you want an interview, I live a half hour away from WWE in Stamford. I'm just saying, Hunter.
Mm-hmm. Got another $2 from Emmanuel here. Kathy Kelly training, is it nothing or something?
Something.
Did she say what she's training for?
They said, from what I read, like manager position or even like in ring.
It's something to me because she liked the post I put. So that alone, it's something for me.
Hell, even Jessica Carr is wrestling, and is it Evolve?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I saw that. She goes by a different name in Evolve.
Yeah. So
she's a master luchador.
Yeah.
She should do something with El Grande Americano.
Oh my God, what if that is what they're trying to do?
El Grande y la Granda.
Oh wait, that could work.
He could be the love interest of El Grande.
Oh, and that could work because Triple A has a mixed tag belts. They can go after them down in Triple A.
There you go.
There you go, yeah. But it's cool to see.
Noah
like,
would lose it.
Oh yeah, no. He's like, what is this woman doing? No, but it's good that, you know, like the backstage people want to actually like get into the ring and stuff like that, because I'm sure that's their dream too, to, you know, be in the ring one day.
I almost wonder if this is WWE being petty as fuck because Samantha wanted to do more than ring announce.
Oh my God. You
And
read my
Vince
mind.
didn't let her.
Oh,
and now
shit.
Kathy Kelly is training to be a manager, and all she
Oh,
wanted to do was be a manager for Ricochet.
Oh shit!
You read my mind.
Then
I was going to bring that up.
So okay, say this happens, right? AEW's gonna be they're not gonna be petty, but they're gonna try to one up WWE and say, "All right, Samantha, we'll bring you in to manage your husband."
Somebody needs to manage him and tell him to stop doing that stupid whatever he does.
Someone needs to manage his Twitter fingers.
Oh my God!
I actually like this new version of him and everything. I just don't like that one thing that that whatever it is he does. It's just
it's working though. It's getting the intended reaction. That's the sad part though.
It's getting a reaction, like she just said. Yeah.
It's getting the intended reaction out of you. You're supposed to not like it. It's this job as a heel to make you not like them.
I guess.
But I will say this: Ricochet's heel persona he's doing right now actually gave him something he was lacking in WWE, which is a bit of a personality.
I give him credit because I didn't think he could be a heel because he's too high flying and those moves usually are reserved for baby faces, but he's pulling it off.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know Ricochet was in AEW. I thought he was still in WWE. You know, after that attack from Braun Breaker. It's still missing.
No, that's fair. No, Ricochet made his debut at the what was it, like the All In?
I'm being stupid right now. I'm being funny.
Big G is trolling you.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Yeah.
Well then. I fell for the bait. Well played. Well played.
He trolls people. He trolls people.
Damn it. I will say the Hurt Business is doing wonders for themselves down there.
Yeah, that was a big flop by Vince when Vince was still around. Or was that a Triple H thing? Or was that like kind of both?
I think it was both. It was both.
Okay.
It started.
It was mainly Vince.
Okay, I was gonna say
There was rumors of trying to reform it, doing it with MVP and the Street Profits, but that got dropped very quickly because the Profits were too over his faces.
Well, I thought that's what they were trying to do with Lashley and the Street Profits before Lashley left.
Yeah, I'll tell you one thing. I can see why they're procrastinating it. They're waiting for these 90 days to run out, so that's why they're procrastinating whether they're gonna accept MJF, because they ain't gonna accept MJF because Cedric is gonna come to the company. They were just waiting for his 90 days, and I think that's almost over because April's almost over.
Yeah.
Although a Cedric MJF feud wouldn't be too bad, it gives something for MJF to do because they're not really doing anything with him right now.
I don't know. Part of me wants, I want MJF to be welcomed in there because it's like the Owen Hart of Nation of Domination. He just doesn't fit, but I want it. Like, just the goofy side of me wants it.
Right? Is this like, what is this like the one thing like the oddball that kind of fits in?
Mm-hmm.
It's a classic trope that works if done well.
Yeah.
The only problem I have with it is that you might accidentally end up turning MJF babyface again because the Hurt Business doesn't want him in the group so bad that he gets, attacked or whatever and told no, so that you accidentally end up turning him babyface.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because Hurt Business is supposed to be heels and everybody cheers them. And they go, "We hurt people." It's becoming a thing. They're kind of embracing it now.
Mm-hmm. Chants in theme song that actually get over. See Hurt Syndicate. Chants in song that don't get over. See Mercedes Moné. Anyways.
Oh, shit.
Stop me when I'm telling lies, G. How many times do you hear the actual crowd chanting CEO? And how often do you hear the crowd chanting "We Heard People"?
Yeah, when I watched when I watched Dynasty, I mean, even before, when I was watching AW for a little bit, and they would come out, they would chant "We Heard People." I was like, all right, they're, like they were behind the Hurt Business too in WWE, even though they were heels. So
the fans wanted them back together, and they didn't do it.
Yeah, I mean. Fans can cheer for whoever the hell they want, heel or babyface. It don't matter, and they're doing it because they're like the cool bad guys, They're like not NWO or DX, but they're just the cool bad guys that you want to be because you want to be them. So they're gonna chant that.
Mm-hmm.
Not some fake woman who thinks who's a former boss but now is a CEO, and nobody wants to chant for her. They're chanting for the damn puppet more than Mercedes. At least be for real.
I give her credit for the puppet thing if that really was her idea, and she's trying to have fun with it. It just don't make sense. Weren't you just beefing? Like, how are you partners and getting along now? Like, that's the only thing.
Mm-hmm. But what was I gonna say there? Oh, I remember doing the math when Cedric was released, and I don't remember the exact date, but Cedric's 90 days end in the beginning of May, like right around Backlash, the 8th, the 9th, somewhere in that region. So I've said from day one, Double or Nothing, he debuts.
Okay.
We build to some story where it'll be Max versus somebody on the Hurt Syndicate side. And if you win, you get to become the member. Lashley will give you the thumbs up. And then Cedric debuts attacking Max, costing him the match. I was like, told you we were going to have a new member. We already had him lined up. And that's how you bring Cedric in. And then the original squad is back in business. And that can even be the next shirt, Hurt Syndicate back in business.
Mm-hmm.
Because they used to be the Hurt Business, so.
That actually makes a hell of a lot of sense.
And if you want to try to buy it, or with Tony Khan's money, maybe you can actually buy the trademark. Talk to EPMD, because one of their albums was called Back in Business, and just write it in the same font on the back, Back in Business.
Mm-hmm.
Something to think about.
Mm-hmm.
And you can probably talk to them into using all their things, because every EPMD album was something business. Strictly business, business never personal, business as usual, back in business, out of business. Like the entire run of the Syndicate could be using the business for part of their slogans, as they develop and further the angles there. New t-shirts every few months. Back in business, strictly business. It's business, it's never personal.
Those would be some shirts I would buy too.
Mm-hmm. Same as a hip-hop head.
Mm-hmm.
Ash is like, I'm a smile and nod. I don't know what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't, but I also like your ideas too. Those are all solid ideas. So it's a little bit of both.
It's all good. She's like, EPMD, what is he talking about? The one song of theirs you've probably heard is You Gots to Chill. It's an old hip-hop song from like 1988, but it's probably their biggest song ever. If you heard it, you'd be like, I've heard that before. I may not know it, but I've heard that before on the radio, at a party, in a club, going into a department store or something, how they'll have the music playing. I've heard that before. You'll recognize it.
Is it one of those songs where you think you don't know, but until the chorus comes in, and you're like, oh yeah, now I know that song?
Well, Canada has a hip hop
Kinda,
scene,
yeah.
so you should-
I mean, it
you
starts
should.
with the whole. Yeah, it's a classic. It's right up there with like, You Can't Touch This. It's almost that iconic. So.
Oh, excuse me.
As long as they
So I
don't
think
make.
Go ahead, Walter.
I think as long as they don't NWO the shit and start putting too many people in there, I'm good.
Yeah, I think just leave it the original foursome.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to add one more member just because there's so many titles in AEW, I'd allow it. But make sure it counts. And make sure it makes sense. You've got so many belts in AEW right now. The world title, the TNT title, the international title, the Continental Championship, the trios tag titles, the regular tag titles, and that doesn't even count Reign of Honor. Like you could have Lashley running for either the TNT or the world title, Shelton running for the international, continental, or TNT title, or if they make it intercontinental, unifying it, go that way too. You could have Shelton and Cedric as tag champions again. You could have Shelton, Cedric, and insert third member here as the trios champions. You could basically be doing what the Death Riders is trying to do, but it would be a team that more people actually give a shit about.
Yeah, they're trying, but nothing they're doing is getting Wheeler over.
It's because everyone calls him Wheeler useless, and the nickname is kind of stuck.
I'm gonna be for real. That's what shut me off from AEW was this whole Death Riders. Like when Moxley came out and told Tony Schiavone saying this is not your company anymore, I was like, all right, yeah. No, thank you.
See, that hooked me. That captivated me because I'm like, whoa, what's going to happen here? This isn't your company anymore? What do we mean?
Okay, maybe it wasn't that. Maybe, I don't know.
That's why it's in the opening because I thought that
Yeah.
was such a good moment. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, we're going to do something here. And now here we are freaking like 8 months later. And it's like,
Okay, so maybe it wasn't that. It could have been just like how they dragged it out and like didn't do anything. I don't know.
Yeah, because the Death Riders. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. No, you go.
Okay, I was about to say because the Death Riders, it started out really hot and got me intrigued, and now it got to the point where I don't hate it, but I don't really care too much for it either. Like I'm kind of indifferent to it. Like I'm just here along for the ride just to see who, when, and where this ends.
It's starting to become like the bloodline where it was hanging on too long, and it needs that Sami Zayn moment where they got injected new life. Like Sami Zayn injected new life into the bloodline where we were like, holy shit, it keeps going and it keeps going, and they made it interesting again. Granted, eventually even that kind of phased out, but it needs some kind of moment like that. I'm not saying you need a new member in there. I'm just saying you need some moment that injects new life into it where we can be like, all right, now it's cooking again. But right now, I feel like you're cooking on the grill without the fire anymore. The fire went out.
The gas is turned on, but there's no fire.
Yeah, exactly.
So all you're doing is filling up the house with gas so that the minute that the pilot light ignites, you're blowing the shit up.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you're doing right now with this angle. Because you're trying to interject the Young Bucks into it now. And they're as much of a charisma void as freaking Mercedes is.
Yeah, they're
nobody
injecting the
cares.
They injected the wrong shot.
Yeah, they lit the wrong fuse.
Yeah, I was like, because when was it Dynasty when the Bucks came back,
It was, yeah.
and I watched that pay-per-view. I was like, man, now I don't want to watch this even more. I'm just like,
see, I still, much like I said about the Orton Undertaker thing, I am gonna die on the hill. The original plan for this was Shane McMahon was going to be involved.
I think
that's why this is not your company anymore. Is that Shane McMahon was going to be the guy making the power move to try to take over, much like when he bought WCW from under Vince McMahon.
Yeah.
Deal wasn't able to be reached. Tony Khan didn't want to give Shane what he wanted. Everything was dropped. We've started this. Now what the fuck do we do? And I've resigned myself to the fact that this is going to end in October. And we have another 5.5 months of this. At whatever date that they pick for Wrestle Dream, which is the same pay-per-view where Moxley defeated Bryan.
Yeah.
And it'll be Darby winning the title from Mox in his home state of Washington. Maybe not Seattle per se, but it'll be in Washington.
In Washington, yeah.
Because Darby is too MIA to win the tournament so that he gets the shot at All In. So what's the next big thing? We can then have him either make his return at the end of All In or at All Out, and then you build to him getting the opportunity at Wrestle Dream. I say he returns at All In after the match. The lights go out, a la Steen. The lights come up, and he's in the middle of the ring, and he drops Moxley.
Yeah. Oh, let's hope.
Then the next big thing is either All Out or Forbidden Door, and you have him win #1 contendership in a match at that show.
Yeah.
And then the next big show is Wrestle Dream. And that's where it ends.
Yeah.
1 year almost to the date that this all began, at least with Mox holding the title hostage.
Jesus Christ, yeah. Oh my God. Let's just hope Darby's doing okay climbing Mount Everest.
Right?
Because
I know we can't wait longer, Charles, but I'm telling you, that's what's going to happen. If I've learned anything about Tony Khan, if I've rented space inside of his mind for any amount of time to learn something, I've learned that when he gets a plan, he sticks with it until he can execute it the way he wants to.
Mm-hmm.
Is that
perfect example? Perfect example. Jade Cargill, Chris Statlander. Everybody was hating on Jade. Everybody thought Jade's reign should end. We were even saying that she should pull a TNA option C at one point because she had ran through everybody, cashing the TBS title for a shot at the women's champion.
Yeah, I remember discussing that. Yeah.
Even if she loses, at least she's never defeated for the TBS title. So she still goes into the match strong.
Yeah.
And she just wasn't enough to be able to topple the women's champion.
Yeah.
And then you start a tournament for the TBS championship. But Stat was injured, and Tony really wanted Stat to be the one to do it. So they held off until Stat was able to come back. And then they pulled the trigger. As soon as Jade was done wrestling, Stat came out and beat her. So you already had a weakened Jade from having wrestled a match.
Yeah, I remember that.
And then once they realized that Jade wasn't going to resign, she came back in, got her rematch, put Stat over without there having been already a match that she wrestled. And that was her last match in the company.
Yeah.
But that's prime example.
Yeah.
How many times did we bounce back and forth between Punk and Mox to get to what we wanted as far as Punk goes? Because Punk kept getting injured.
Yeah.
When Tony wants something, he rides it as long as he has to get what he wants. And I think he really wants Darby to be the guy. That's why Darby won number one contendership last year and then lost the opportunity to Moxley.
Mount Everest.
So I hate it, but I think that's what's going to happen. And y'all heard me here say it and spell it all out for you. And I even gave you the reason as to why.
I'm just wondering, how many, what opponents do they have lined up for Moxley if they are dragging it until Wrestle Dream? Because he went through Swerve, he's going through Samoa Joe, and then who else do they have for Moxley as a holdover feud until Wrestle Dream, and he eventually faces Darby if Darby survives? Sorry, who was that?
Probably Hangman. Hangman's probably in there.
Hangman is going to be in there. Ospreay is going to be in there.
Yeah, Ospreay. Yeah, because Ospreay is going to probably win at Double or Nothing. Face him at All In.
You know what? If he pulls it off right, it would be one hell of a publicity stunt if he did climb out of his plane to that AEW flag and then wins the title. But, I mean, you're risking a lot because it's a low percentage of people, one, that have even successfully climbed it. And I said it before on one of our things that, God willing, I'm not wishing it, but what if you did all that and he unfortunately passes away while doing that, and now you just screwed all your plans up? So
I agree. I've said it too. But Tony Khan is about putting all his eggs in one basket. You know? And I could almost even go as far as to say that the numbers are going to get the better of Darby in the match, as the Death Riders do. And you'll almost get a WrestleMania 40 moment where the Avengers assemble to help Cody. You'll get Joe coming out. You'll get Hangman coming out. You'll get Swerve coming out. And the final piece of the puzzle will be Bryan Danielson. The man who Mox took the title from and retired a year ago at that event.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, that'd be pretty
Said
cool.
he was ending his full-time career, not that he wasn't going to wrestle ever again, period.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, that could work.
And then you got either Full Gear or World's End, Mox versus Bryan.
That would be pretty cool.
But that's the missing piece of the puzzle to bring it all together is Bryan returning after a year.
I'd be down for that.
So, mark my words.
Heard it here first, people.
Tony will find a way to fuck up Bryan returning too.
God damn it, Walter.
He will. Come
He
to
will,
find out. Like, he'll fuck it up so bad. Bryan was behind the scenes orchestrating all of this, and he's a heel, and he was really the leader. Like, they'll fuck it up some way, somehow.
Possible. Got another $2 from Emmanuel. We do still have The Rock to discuss, but I'm just going through Emmanuel super chats right now because God bless it. If he's willing to kick the money in, I will take it. I'm close to hidden payout. Still need a few more. So, is the IWC having too much hope that Bayley leaves for AEW? I don't know. I would have said yes 2 weeks ago. But looking at how she got done at WrestleMania and then watching her interview with Chris Van Vliet, I don't know. I definitely think that Davina Rose could become All Elite if WWE continues to handle Bayley the way that they do.
Yeah.
I definitely think that Mercedes could help Bayley get a fat deal. Not as fat as hers, but good enough that she'd be content. Because we know Mercedes ain't going to let anybody make more money than her.
True.
That's not even Mercedes hate. That's just real being real. We know this. So I could see it. All I know is I want Bayley to be wherever Izzy lands. Because I've got to get that match.
Yeah.
You know, if you're going to do Bayley to AEW, then let Izzy get signed and become All Elite. Because then you can run the Bayley program and you can run the Mercedes program.
Yeah. Is he 18 yet?
5 days.
Okay, so
May 1st is her birthday.
Then legally, then she can actually like wrestle and for a major company. Gotcha.
Mm-hmm. And May 1st, TNA is going to be live at the Bren Center at UC Irvine out here. So the first company that she could legally wrestle for is TNA.
Okay.
Because that'll be on her birthday. And then they're doing tapings the next day as well. After that, who knows? Got Backlash, got Battleground, got Double or Nothing. I don't know if anybody is going to extend a deal to her right at midnight on her birthday, but we'll see. You know, she participated in the ID tournament, so WWE definitely has eyes on her.
Oh, yeah.
There's that history with her and Bayley. Maybe it could be part of what gets Bayley to stick around and not become All Elite. It's like, hey, we're about to sign Izzy. We need you to be here so that we can do this proper.
I said it since she got attacked. That's their way. That's why Izzy lost the whole ID match. You put Julie and Roxanne together, Bailey's gonna pop out of nowhere, and Izzy ends up being her partner.
Mm-hmm. We were talking about it in the spaces, and we were told we were fucking idiots for it.
Mm-hmm.
But you have Roxanne versus Bailey at Backlash, because that's going to be on the 10th. 10 days after her birthday. Supposed to be at Mania, but they pulled it. Dropped the storyline. So you do Roxanne Bailey at Backlash. Julia comes out to interfere. 2-on-1. Izzy hops the barricade into the ring. Helps Bailey. The two embrace. Full circle. Hunter, the email address is rowjjwilliams@gmail.com. I am available for a job.
Even if people don't know, the thing is, even if people don't know enough about the history, there's enough old NXT stuff that they can use to like video package and get people to know. Because like, this is here. They'd be like, here, this is who Izzy is. This is what she was. This is why she's important to the WWE universe. This is how her and Bailey know each other, and they can play off that.
And you have Michael Cole sell it on commentary when it happens. You know, something to the effect of, is that who I think it is? Or no, even let it be Graves.
Yeah,
because he used to do NXT commentary.
Yeah, I was going to say, have Graves do it.
Is that who I think it is? Is it? Holy, that's Izzy. Little Izzy is all grown up. Bailey's #1 fan. She's here and she's helping Bailey.
Mm-hmm. And just as
for the casuals that don't get it, they do come Raw when they show all the old footage of what happened at the PLE. They intercut some of that black and gold NXT footage into the story, like flashbacks. You know, here's Izzy in the ring right now helping her. Is that who I think it is? Dissolved black and white footage of her. Could it possibly be? Oh my God, that's Izzy. Show the footage of her and Bailey hugging in the ring after she won the championship in NXT. Cut to them hugging in the ring there. But I was told I'm a fucking idiot and no one would know who Izzy is.
I was told the same thing. Or you could even, like, that's her Titantron. Like, some music hits that nobody knows. Then the Titantron is showing the little girl.
Music.
Yep.
Give
there
her
you
the
go.
Hugger music that Bailey's not using anymore. Since if you watch her on the indies, she's very much obviously inspired by Bailey and her old gimmick.
Hell yeah, her outfits.
When she won the Mission Pro title, all the kids in the crowd got into the ring to celebrate with her. Just like she got in the ring with Bailey.
She even calls her fans the besties.
So give her the old hugger music. It works.
It works, damn it.
And it's not a Def Rebel theme.
Watch it to get Def Rebel too.
Damn it, man. You're on our league keeping us going with no topics.
I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I think it's because I said I'm close to hitting the threshold, so they're trying to help me out, and I appreciate that. So Arlene with $5 super chat. Why tease Austin in the background if he's not going to be used in the Cena match? Going to the production trucks. Well, because I don't believe what The Rock said, and I believe he was supposed to be part of this all along. And you tease Austin in the background because Austin and Rock one more time in the ring together.
Yeah.
Rock eating a stunner one more time.
And overselling it.
I don't know if there's a power struggle like people are saying that there is between Triple H and Rock. But man, there's definitely stuff there to prove that it could be accurate. I don't know how many of y'all watched Rock's interview with Pat McAfee.
I haven't. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't.
Rock definitely, Dwayne was pushing a lot of the blame onto other people. I don't agree with that, even if it's accurate, because I feel with him being on the board of directors, he's got to take a little bit of that responsibility himself. May not have to take all the responsibility. Triple H is still in charge of creative. But if you strung him along, making him think that you were going to be there and be part of things, you need to take part of that also. And if you weren't going to be there, why did you insert yourself in the heel turn?
Yo, cops just showed up at my neighbor's house. I'm watching on the ring camera.
That's crazy.
Shit.
Now look what it's led to. This is even leading to this weird rumor match that it might be Cena and Travis Scott versus somebody in Bad Bunny. Whether it's Cody, Bad Bunny, somebody like they inserted all these dynamics into it, and The Rock somehow fell to the wayside. If you know you couldn't commit to it and you had all this stuff in the schedule, you shouldn't have even have said anything. And then I knew it was weird when he flipped babyface, and when he came back, he was doing that weird 1 second he was Rock, the next second he was Dwayne thing, and I'm like, I don't think he's gonna be a Mania.
Yeah. So thank you for that super chat, Arlene, because that kind of transitions into the Rock topic. What does everybody think? I mean, like, it's been one of the biggest talking points of the week. And unfortunately, we haven't really been able to get into it because of other stuff going on. And it wasn't able to get gotten to in the spaces because the spaces degenerated into some other kind of underworldly bullshit.
It became a mess. To put it mildly, it was messy.
Yeah.
So it's a good thing I didn't join in. Okay, good.
Yeah. To the point where James has left spaces altogether, took this week off, and let's just say that somebody who has appeared on this show before, when they were muted on the space and then were finally unmuted, screamed out, F you, JJ. Uncensored.
Wow.
F, the name of the show, which is Tribalism Free Zone. F you, JJ. And F you, somebody else who's not on the show, so I'm not going to say their name.
Wow. It's to the point I lost 2 subscribers behind it, and I wasn't even a part of it. Don't know what happened. So
yeah, and I'm willing to bet you that it's those 2 people.
I know.
So
that's crazy.
Thankfully, Ash hasn't really lost any subscribers. She's still going up. So thankfully that hasn't.
I'm just gonna say it was a messy situation, and I got no issues with anyone.
I know you don't. That's why you're here, darling.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying in general that I personally, even though I was there listening in, I have no heat with anyone. Mm-hmm. So for my doing, I'm just gonna even though it's like it's misfortunate what happens, I'm just gonna continue to support everyone involved until further notice.
And we appreciate that. So, since we weren't able to get into that conversation, what does everybody think about what The Rock said and that The Rock wasn't there? Was it as big of a disappointment as everyone is making it out to be? 1. 2, do you feel like The Rock should have been there or needed to be there in all actuality? And 3, did The Rock's not being there take away from your level of enjoyment for WrestleMania?
Can I start on this one, JJ?
Please do, because I know you tend to tap earlier than most. So
yeah, I'm actually doing pretty fine.
I'm just saying. I know stuff happened to you in your personal life where you don't really have to rush out of here tonight. But I also know that you tend to get tired and tap out earlier. So being as how this is our main event, with the exception of the other super chats coming in, if you want to go first and then dip out at some point, I understand. So go ahead.
Okay. So, from what I remember, The Rock said that he got a call from Nick Khan saying ticket sales were low at Elimination Chamber.
Ari Emanuel.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, okay. The head guy from TKO. Saying ticket sales were low at Elimination Chamber, so that's why The Rock showed up. And then that after that he didn't really need to show up. He needed that way Cena and Cody could do their thing, and then pretty much have Cena have his moment at WrestleMania. But like The Rock said, I guess he was there spiritually or whatever. I don't. So why have The Rock show up in the first place? Like Cena, I think I mentioned this on the review, and I think you kind of mentioned it too, JJ, in a way. But when Cena did his Royal Rumble press conference thing, he said he was entitled to put himself into the Elimination Chamber match. And I think you said it too, and I thought it too after a while. That came off kind of heelish in a way, right? Fast forward to Elimination Chamber, John Cena takes advantage, I don't want to say the cowardly way, but kind of took advantage of a defenseless CM Punk after the Kurt stop, where CM Punk didn't even tap out, he just passed out. So that kind of felt heelish too. So I feel like they could have done this whole thing without The Rock being at Elimination Chamber and having Cena turn heel on Cody anyways. But The Rock being The Rock, he can show up anytime, anywhere he wants to. He'll show up when he's needed, or when they need him in a storyline, which I can understand, because you got to think The Rock's Dwayne outside of WWE. He helps do the UFL during the springtime. He's got movies coming up in the next couple years that he's filming or already filmed and stuff like that. So he's a busy man. So and people, especially on the IWC, like bitching and complaining. Pretty much bitching and complaining that The Rock wasn't there and stuff like that. Like, they just need. I think their problem was that The Rock was there all of last year at WrestleMania 40 and stuff like that. That they were expecting him to, after Elimination Chamber, for him to show up every single week. And when he didn't, people were just getting more and more agitated. That, like, people just need to get over the fact that The Rock is going to show up when he wants to, and not when the people want to. So, in a way, I felt like he threw Triple H under the bus during that interview too. So that's my take on everything. It just at this point, I think even Virtue was over at the point that The Rock's not going to show up. That's how crazy it is. So that's my whole take on the stuff.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't think of it at first until the chamber thing happened, but I did say that The Rock's promo was very, very heelish. And then I started saying that we didn't realize, what was being said until the heel turn came.
Right.
It's like we didn't really realize what was happening because it was almost happening in reverse.
Right.
He gave us his first heel promo before he even turned heel.
Yep.
And who does that? Like nobody does that. People may say a thing here or a thing there kind of off the cuff that people think, whoa, wait a minute, what was that? But not a full heel promo before pulling that trigger. And Cena did. And then to your point about taking the cheap way or the cowardice way, he just tapped into one of his greatest rivals, Edge, the ultimate opportunist.
Yeah.
He saw an opportunity and he struck.
Yeah.
Face or heel, doesn't matter. Saw the opportunity and he struck. Because what was one of Cena's biggest talking points to Cody those 3 weeks overseas? You don't have the killer instinct to do what it takes.
Yeah.
He proved that he did by taking advantage of the prone CM Punk.
Yeah.
They foreshadowed the iconic moment that then got inducted in the Hall of Fame by Punk not being pinned, not submitting. He passed out from the submission, just like Austin did to Brett at Mania 13. And then when Cody had the gun in his hand and he was able to pull that trigger, he didn't, because he didn't have that killer instinct. And that's ultimately what did him in at Mania.
Yep.
But in none of those things did I say anything about The Rock. All that story could have still been told without Rock having inserted himself.
Mm-hmm.
As a matter of fact, you can even still get the same heel turn without The Rock being there. Cena takes advantage of the prone Punk, gets the victory. The chamber starts to raise. Dun, dun. Wrestling has more than one royal family.
Mm-hmm.
Cody comes to the ring. Kind of gives Cena a look, a little cockeyed, like, what was that all about? But that's his hero. They embrace. Raises Cena's arm as the victor. Turn to go embrace again. Whap! Dick kick city.
Yeah.
No Travis Scott. No Rock.
Oh my God. Yeah. If I ever hear that song Fiend again, oh my God, I shoot myself.
Everything could have been accomplished without them. And one of the things that was talked about today, Saturday, so yesterday on Rockin' Ropes, after everything that devolved on Thursday. But one of the things that was talked about on Rockin' Ropes is that we can give Triple H all the criticism in the world as the chief creative officer, the guy who writes and books everything on the day-to-day. But much like when Vince was working remotely and would change things at the last minute, if Rock got wind of something, he's got the power to override Triple H. So we can't ride Triple H on everything because The Rock inserted himself. We can't fault Triple H for everything because The Rock inserted himself. So to all the people that sit here and say that all we do is praise Triple H, we praise Triple H, number one, no, we don't. And number two, in this case, you've got to give him a little bit of leeway because The Rock had the ability to override. And by inserting himself in this, he screwed all that up. Now, I'm not going to turn my back on The Rock. I'm not going to devolve into a Rock hater like some people in the IWC have. The Rock was one of my first guys when I got into professional wrestling in the summer of '98. Babyface, heel, Hollywood run, return, leave us, come back to face Cena and be the guest host of WrestleMania, leave us again. I have never left the Rock side. I'm not going to start now. I can still be critical about him. I just called him out on his shit. But I'm not going to turn my back on him.
Let me ask you this, JJ, and then everybody else can do their thing. Do you think power has gone to Dwayne's head now that he's like on the board of the TKO?
I don't know.
Okay.
And I'm not trying to take a cop out. I'm trying to be as honest as I can because none of us can say we know Dwayne on a personal level.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I
just
don't
throwing that
really
out
know
there.
because I don't know how he was IRL before this. And I don't know how he really is IRL after this.
Yeah.
From everything I still see on social media, he's still cool as fuck with the fans. He still takes time when he doesn't have to give time. You know, unless it's like a dire situation where he is in a rush, he is always making time for everybody. And if you're that much of an egomaniac, you don't do that. That's what humble people do. That's what people who lift up instead of step on do. And I haven't seen that change in him since coming into power. One could understand how power could go to his head, becoming the highest paid actor in Hollywood, getting your own production company, owning a professional sports, not even franchise, but division. Because he owned the XFL, which merged with the USFL to form the UFL. So he's owner in that. Now he's on the board of directors of TKO with a share in the WWE and everything. I could understand how power could maybe go to the guy's head. But everything I've seen on social media, which again, Rock understands social media probably better than anybody.
Yeah.
He knows that if he's a dick, that's going to get out there. So you got to be on PR control.
Yeah.
So I can get that. I can see how that could maybe be used as a counterpoint in an argument. But all I can go off of is what I see.
Yeah.
So
I figured I'd just throw that out there, Steve.
No, and that's a very fair question. That's a very fair question. You know, I mean, I do feel that maybe Dwayne holds a little bit of resentment for Paul and Michael Sean Hickenbottom for the way he was treated when he was a rookie. Because of the power that the Clique had backstage.
Yeah.
I could maybe see that.
And now the Clique's in charge.
But he has the power above him because he's on the board of directors.
Yeah.
You know, it's like the old line from the Disney Three Musketeers movie. With a snap of my fingers, I can have you back on the streets where I found you. And with a flick of my wrist, I can change your religion.
Yeah.
With the snap of the fingers, Triple H and Mike Shawn are fired. All he has to do is get that whim.
Yeah.
You know? And I think that's why they're on their P's and Q's. I think that might be part of why Ava is in the position she's in NXT. Just keep tabs of Shawn. Report back to him. And I know Rock has friends on the main roster that can keep him kind of up to date on what's going on with Triple H.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's got Roman, he's got Jay, he's got Jimmy, he's got Tama Tonga, he's got Jacob. He's got a whole fucking bloodline.
Yeah.
That literally.
Literally, yeah.
He's got Trinity, he's got Naya, he's got Tamina if she's still involved. All who are around that can let him know if something's going on.
Yeah.
Hey, Uncle Dwayne. Hey, Uncle Dwayne. Hey, cousin. Hey, Oos. So that's why I can believe that there could be a power struggle. But none of us really know. And if all we're doing is going off of what the dirt sheets tell us, then nobody really fucking knows.
Yeah.
Because, and I've backed off a lot when it comes to the other SRS. As reliable as SAP has been proven to be, we'll say about 80 to 85% of the time. Still that 15 to 20% where he's wrong. Where he's duped, or he's fed false information, whatever you want to call it. There's still that 15 to 20% where he's wrong.
Yeah.
Meltzer, it's about the opposite. It's 20% he's accurate, 80% he's wrong. I don't take anything Meltzer says seriously. I take stuff that Sap says more seriously. And again, that shows how I've softened on him. Because I used to ride him hard. Mainly going back to the whole Punk AEW thing and leaving. You know, oh, Punk's not coming to WWE. Negotiations haven't been reached. Deals haven't been made. Blah, blah, blah. Neither side's talking. When I saw him walk out of All In with his one in the sky after fighting Joe, I said right then he was heading back to WWE. He was acknowledging the tribal chief as he walked out of Wembley Stadium. A couple months later, where was he?
Back at home, back in the E.
And he was adamant that he wasn't going. And I was like, bullshit, dude. He fucking broadcasted it on AEW pay-per-view. Come on. Oh, the deal came together last minute. No, it didn't. But back to the greater picture of The Rock. That's where I stand on it. Ash, what do you think, darling? Because you were in that volatile space that wasn't able to get to this conversation.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about The Rock and his involvement in everything? And Arlene, I will PM you as soon as I look, darling. I see your message there. Let me count what I've received tonight, where I was, and I will let you know, okay? Go ahead, Ash.
The way I see it is, I'm sure the Rock didn't really have to insert himself, but he did. He should have been like having like more involved than he was. Like he didn't have to be there weekly. He just had to be like there for like some type of involvement. As for the interview itself goes, I'm not sure what to believe at this point. So I'm just gonna just leave it on standby because right for all I know is like The Rock, he it seems like he's trying to be like deflective and whatnot. But I see where he's coming from with the deflection. But at the same time, if you're like on the board, you got to take some accountability for the failures and creative not going the way you intended to.
Right.
I'm just like a little upset. Like it's just like the way the IWC is about it. It's funny. Like I don't want to get into this argument, but it's funny how the IWC picks and choose what they want to believe, and it's more agenda pushing on it, and that's just.
Thank you, darling. I'm glad it was somebody that wasn't Walter or I saying it.
Because it does come across that way at times. I'm just like, why do you believe a certain thing when it coincides with the agenda you're trying to push? It just, I don't get it. And it's the reason. It's one of the reasons why pro wrestling media in general gets a bad reputation it has, and people like myself who are very critical of not just the media itself, but the people who are a part of the media as well.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not saying you have to believe everything, but be open-minded about what you hear and what you read.
Yeah.
Regardless of who's saying it. Not to get on my little soapbox here, but that's my big takeaway from it.
I'm wondering what Walter's watching because he's like deep in thought over there.
I'm just trying to stay awake, to be honest.
I know. It's almost 2 o'clock our time.
Well, I just saw something, Walter, that might help you wake up. Completely off topic, so I want to get through this before I share it. But I just saw something that might help you wake up, bro. So what are your thoughts on this?
I don't feel like Rock needed to be part of WrestleMania. It didn't take away from my enjoyment. I feel like the main event was booked the way it was because Cena's promo of "I want to ruin WrestleMania." That's why it was booked the way you booked. You can't go out there and have a 5-star match with somebody and then say "I ruined wrestling." You have to do it plain and boring, almost. And I feel like if Rock inserted himself in it, it would have took away the spotlight from that. So that's what I feel like. I didn't see the interview with The Rock, but I just feel like that was all damage control. All he was doing, yeah, that's all that was.
I think so, yeah.
That's a hell of a timing. Like 2 days after Mania, suddenly you book Pat McAfee and go there. Like, when was that booked? Like, you know what I mean? Like, somebody got on the phone, was like, do damage control or something. So, like, that's all that was. Deflect blame so that we can say, you know, it was this, it was that, and not having 100% tell the truth. So I don't know what to believe, but I can't comment too much on the interview because I really didn't see it. I saw highlights, and all it was deflection, and like I said, it was damage control.
I mean,
yeah, in a nutshell.
I forget who brought this point up. If it was last week on Shenanigans afterwards, or if it was in one of the spaces earlier this week before the one that went sideways. But somebody said all it would have taken is for John Cena in one of his promos overseas in Europe to say, when he's talking about killing wrestling. I'm not even going to give you The Rock. You don't deserve The Rock. And boom, we're not expecting him. You know, because he said something about it interwoven in the story, because one of the things that we complained about is The Rock not being mentioned at all. You know, so I am going to take this title. I'm going to go home. Hell, I'm going to take The Rock away from you. You're not even going to get The Rock at WrestleMania. You should be thankful you're getting me. Rock's been mentioned. Said he's not going to be there. No one's expecting anything.
Yeah.
So we got a couple more super chats, but before we go to those, I did say I was going to show something that might help wake Walter up. You ready, Walter? It's official. Announced tonight at Reality of Wrestling Glory tapings, Hall of Famer and co-owner Queen Charmel will return to the ring for the first time in over a decade to face La Princesa Tiffany Nieves at No Limits on May 10th.
Nice. There you go.
The match is happening, bro.
There we go. That's an ass whooping. You about to get the crown taken, Charmel.
Nice.
Yeah, considering everything that we've been going through with La Princesa, very nice.
Wait, how much is a flight to Houston?
Damn it. Look at him. Now he wants to go see that match. Dude, that's the same day as Backlash.
No, okay, yeah.
So. All right, we have 3 more super chats to get through. $5 from Emmanuel. Thoughts on Zoe Starks criticizing Liv for her outfit at Mania, saying that she worked her ass off, yet sex appeal sells, or something to that effect. I mean, yeah, it does. I didn't see Zoe's comment, so I don't know exactly what was said. But as little as I like Liv Morgan, if you're going to ask me what I would rather see on my WrestleMania card, Zoe Stark or Liv Morgan, I'd rather see Liv. Because I know she's going to parade herself out there as something to be seen, and I want to watch her get her ass beat. Which I did. I get to call her getting her ass beat and losing the titles. You know? Granted, it was only for 24 hours, but still, my night was made. If anything, as much shade as I've given Liv, she's an attractive girl. No one's going to deny that. She's got a great body, great assets. And sex always sells. Look at the women that are the most successful in the music biz. Look at the women that are most successful in acting. You know, who sells more tickets? I'm trying to think of a bigger girl, you know, in Hollywood right now. You know, because even Rebel Wilson is like lost all that weight. But like Rebel Wilson or Scarlett Johansson, who's going to sell more tickets?
Yeah.
Melissa McCarthy or Scarlett Johansson, who's going to sell more tickets?
I was going to mention, like, if you want to look in the music industry, look what Sabrina Carpenter's doing.
Mm-hmm.
Zoe Stark's thing is a gimmick. I feel like she's bringing back right to censor or something. She's doing it to all the females. It's not Liv. She's putting the little censor boxes on things that don't need to be censored, and it's like she's talking about the women. So I feel like maybe It's like a this generation's type of right to censor. So I feel like that's all it is. It's just a gimmick thing.
Well, I mean, Mickey James called out the one girl on LFG also, talking about, I don't want to watch women and all I see are their asses.
Mm-hmm.
But then she went out there at the show in Vegas and was in skimpy shorts. It's like, come on, Mickey, that's kind of hypocritical.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
She did that shit back in the day too. With them skirts and shit.
She did that recently at the Royal Rumble, but I just maybe her and Zoe starts a part of it. Who knows? And bring Ivory, and do it like a different rights and censor. Maybe that's where they're going, and then Shayna's the muscle.
It's possible. Ray J's World sent in a $5 super chat. Thank you, Ray J's World. We kind of talked about this a little bit at the outset, but he wasn't here, so we can get into it again real quick. Joe Hendry said to Busted Open, a WWE main roster star may show up at Rebellion tomorrow. Who could it be? Well, he did say a megastar with a bus. That was the big tip-off there. And my first instinct is The Miz. Like I said at the outset of the show, it's been heavily rumored that Miz wants to do something with Joe Hendry. Elijah's open challenge is the perfect way to integrate himself into that. Yes, the open challenge is on the countdown to Rebellion, so it wouldn't even be on the pay-per-view portion, which would suck. But what better way to get people to buy the pay-per-view than that last-minute hook of The Miz showing up on the free part?
True.
Plus, it fits his promo. He's tired of everybody just busting in and coming out of nowhere and returning on him. Now he gets to 180 it and bust in on somebody else.
Mm-hmm. So that's who I think it is. The name Gunther got thrown around by us because of his indefinite suspension.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if he's going to be suspended from WWE, he can go to TNA. He can go fuck up Elijah.
How it could
He
be
has the
Cena.
bus that was given to him as part of the thing as well. Cena's another shout. The only thing with Cena is I don't think they'd waste his dates like that. Because he only has X amount of dates.
True.
And if he's going to do anything with TNA, it's going to be with Joe Hendry. He's not going to burn a date to get to Joe Hendry.
True.
It would have to be something, he's already at that Hendry appears at to set it up to make the match. And I still am starting to lean towards, if it's going to happen, let Joe Hendry be Cena's last match. Because Joe Hendry's contract expires at the end of the year. And if they stick with the rumor, they're going to do a PLE called Ruthless Aggression on December 27th, which is a Saturday, which would be Cena's last show of the year. Let Joe Hendry debut at Ruthless Aggression. Full-blown WWE superstar. And you can
what?
A year.
I thought that was gonna end up being Braun Breaker before they did the Seth thing.
It still could be Braun.
Because you can, let Braun have you Ruthless Aggression. Yeah, but then the title always has to be an online. Because I was gonna say, you have him with the Money in the Bank, and then Cena said, "I told you I'm leaving. I don't have to have a match." And then all of a sudden he comes out, cashes in, and Cena loses his last match.
What if Joe Hendry is in Money in the Bank and wins the briefcase?
There you go.
Wow, that's a big possibility.
I mean, I know people are going to be like, "Oh, that would never happen," but we never thought we'd see fucking Joe Hendry on We never thought we'd see the day where Vince McMahon wasn't involved in the WWE.
Mm-hmm.
We never thought we'd see a lot of the shit we've been seeing lately.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so have Joe Hendry win the briefcase, and then because he's off in TNA, because he's still under contract, he's not on TV all the time. People forget he has the briefcase. So when he comes back at Ruthless Aggression to cash it in, holy shit, we forgot all about this. But he's on TNA television with it every week. Making people think he'll cash it in for the TNA championship.
Yep.
And then out of nowhere, his music hits and he cashes it in on John Cena to save professional wrestling.
There you go.
And now Joe Hendry has become the savior of professional wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
I'm seeing people yawn, and I'm seeing private chat. Yep, I knew it was going to be you, G.
I'm
feeling good. I'm feeling good. I'm good. I'm good.
It's hitting me now. Holy shit, is it having me now?
And I can't wait to move to the West Coast, man. God damn.
Yeah.
So I get you, G. I get you.
I got to go down to Pennsylvania to hang with you one more time before we leave.
Sorry, I was about to say, like, your idea that raises another question.
There goes JJ yawning now.
Is it possible that do you think Joe Hendry is going to be the only person in Money in the Bank, or would we get some other TNA people involved as well? For like both men's and women's.
I wish it would involve the NXT person too.
See, that's an interesting question because I think if it's going to be a woman from TNA, it has to make sense.
Mm-hmm.
And who in TNA as a woman right now would make sense to do?
Tessa.
Tessa is a possibility. I would save Tessa for the Evolution show, though.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't put her in Money in the Bank. I would look for... Honestly, I would look for somebody with a WWE tie. So you've got Ash by Elegance.
Oh, no!
The former Dana Brooke. You've got Lei Yin Lee, the former Xia Li.
Mm-hmm.
You've got... Who else over there?
Is Xia Brookside still down there?
She is. Xia Brookside is down there, yep. I didn't know she really had a WWE connection, so...
Oh, wait, that's... Well, I think she made oh, yeah, that's right. She made a little bit of appearances here and there when part of NXT UK and Black and Gold.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, so she does have the connection then. I'm unaware because I didn't watch that part, so...
That's fair. Oh, someone in the chat mentioned Rosemary because she appeared on NXT a couple times and people know her.
She did. I was trying to think of people that didn't just cross the line over.
Oh, okay.
That had WWE history.
Okay, fair enough.
That's the only reason I didn't list Rosemary, because you're right. And then Masha also, but Masha's currently the Knockouts champion.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't see her crossing the line as champion to try to win Money in the Bank.
I'm a little afraid about people crossing the line for the Money in the Bank because I really want Naomi to get it with this whole thing she's got going on.
Well, and that doesn't mean the TNA person has to win, but now that they own AAA, now that they're partnered with TNA, I mean, traditionally Money in the Bank is 6.
Mm-hmm.
But at one point it was 8. So why can't it be 6 main roster people, an NXT person, and a TNA person to bring it back to the 8? You know, that way you really give this mentality of everybody wants that briefcase. Because that briefcase can be cashed in for any world championship. So let's make it a spectacle. Let's bring people in. Let me see what some of the comments are saying here. Okay. So the last super chat that we have currently is from Arlene. $10. Thank you, Arlene. Would you be mad if Cena and Orton main evented Backlash and Cena slapped the ref and that was the end of the pay-per-view? Or would you be okay with it?
That'd be a good callback. I think that would be a fine callback in reverse. That would be awesome. That like a payoff for a longtime fan.
Remind me, because I'm missing how it would be a payoff. I'm not remembering.
Not a payoff, but it'd be a funny like callback. I didn't mean to say payoff, but
how? Because I'm not remembering.
Cena did, Randy Orton did that to retain his title, against John Cena. That had to be at least 10 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's how Randy Orton did it. He was on his knee like that, slapped the referee, and it was like a fun way of him getting out of it. And I feel like it would be a fun way for now Cena doing it back to him.
If it's happened before in reverse, then I would be for it. Because, like you said, it would be a hell of a callback. But I don't remember which of their 500 matches it was. Okay, he's saying No Way Out 08.
Yeah, I was just going to say it, No Way Out, yeah.
Because I can't remember what pay-per-view, but I knew it happened like sometime in 08 or 09.
I'd have to go back and rewatch that.
As soon as he said it.
I'd be okay with that. I know a lot of people wouldn't be okay with it. Would think it's stupid, would think it's lame, would think it's boring. But again, it goes into Cena's trying to ruin wrestling. So here's this shitty ass finish for a fantastic match that just happens to be a callback to something that happened before. And even Orton's got to shake his head and be like, all right, fucker. See what you did.
If you're going to do callbacks,
you got me.
If you're going to do callbacks, might as well bring Cena's father in too. Beat the smack Randy Orton since it was fucking with Cena's father back then.
Oh yeah, he was. Yeah, get Cena's dad involved because Cena's dad is also on board with the heel turn. Like he was piping it up as well in interviews. Like he's totally on board for it.
Everything's in reverse. Now it's the father fucking with Orton.
I'd be here for that. Absolutely. And I love how Emmanuel remembers what it was, and he's the freaking John Cena hater. Charles gave the year, but Emmanuel's like, Cena and Orton before Mania, No Way Out. Like, just goes to show that secretly he actually loves John Cena. Oh, okay. He's like, I remember because Orton retained, so he was happy. So
yeah.
Sure, Emmanuel, sure.
Damn sure retained with that slap. It was funny as hell.
Give the little side-eye wink.
And I think it led to if Orton gets disqualified, he'll lose the title. That's what it led to because he was like finding ways to get cheap ways to lose. To retain the title.
That makes sense. Well, that is pretty much it. Thank you to all the super chats. One, for putting me over the threshold, so I'll get paid out next month. Thank you. And two, for keeping us going when we really didn't have a whole lot to talk about. You know, we would have been out of here probably over an hour ago if we had just done the 2 topics. You know, so thank you all for keeping the thing going here. We greatly appreciate you all. Everybody's got me yawning now.
Dude,
I
I'm
was
exhausted.
doing good. Then everyone started yawning and was like, God damn it, that shit's contagious. Let's go ahead and start plugging everyone. You can follow No DQ's resident Big Baller G on YouTube at Harley and Joker 2021, X No DQ _ Big Baller G, TikTok Big Baller G 1988, and on Instagram and Threads at No DQ _ Big Baller G 1988. You can find James on Facebook at James Heebman Hebert, on Instagram and YouTube at jhebertside95. If he does not respond to you immediately, don't get mad. He is taking a little bit of a break after everything that went down.
James better not let Tiffany see that.
Right? Follow the Simple Man Noah Foster on YouTube, Instagram, and X at nfoster1916. Facebook Noah Foster. Go to the Twitter/X account or the community tab on YouTube for all the Prediction League updates. Walter.
Rage of Wrestling YouTube channel, the Instagram, walter.cruz.940, and of course X, Twitter, whatever the hell you want to call it, Walter Alex Cruz. I have figured it out how to capture the switch with what I got. So follow Twitch at SRS1983 too. Get it, got it, bueno.
And for me, you can find me on Instagram, the Renegade JJ Williams, YouTube Casa D18 Studios, X ROWJJ Williams, and Casa D18 Studio, singular, not plural. That's where I do the spaces, is Casa D18 Studio. And then where is it? Go through all these other freaking things here. Tomorrow, 6:30 Eastern, 3:30 Pacific, Jeff Meacham's interview with Frankie Kazarian goes live. Make sure you tune in for that. Make sure you keep your eyes on Rebellion on Triller TV or the TNA Plus app, as Jeff and Attila will be there and should be in a heavy camera view from everything that we've been hearing. And I still look at this and wonder, how in the fuck did we pull it off?
Right?
I'm still tired from it, and looking at it just reminded me.
So I can tell you the year Cena won the Rumble. That way, when I feel like watching Rumbles, I avoid seeing 08 and 2013. So that is going to wrap things up again. Oh, another super chat came in. Before Cena won, Arlene and I had a look of dread what happened. Oh. And Charles says, we are all still madmen for going through that. Look, I just barely got my sleep caught up. Thankfully, the way the work schedules go Wednesday through Tuesday, I don't have work again until Cinco de Mayo, because I already worked my 2 days for this week, and those are the last 2 days on next week's schedule. Is Cinco de Mayo and then the 6th. So I don't work again until Cinco de Mayo, so I've got plenty of time to recuperate now.
That's going to be a busy-ass day in the restaurant business, too, Cinco de Mayo. Woo.
We're freaking BJs. We're not specializing in Hispanic cuisine, Mexican cuisine, so it shouldn't be too bad for us, I don't think. We'll see. But thank you to everybody for joining us and tuning in. If you're not going to watch Backlash on May 10th, tune in to Reality of Wrestling and watch La Princesa Tiffany Nieves take on Queen Charmel. And watch Queen Charmel catch a royal ass whooping, courtesy of La Princesa.
Yep.
In her own words, get it, got it, bueno. Had to get the little finger snap in there for her. Again, thank you for tuning in, and we will catch you guys next time. Rest in peace to Mongo. Have a good night.
Yeah.